You're listening to The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids.
We now leave our network programming to bring you the following special sports presentation.
The history, the tradition, the fun of Kernels baseball.
It's time for exciting live coverage of Kernels baseball, right here on the Kernels Radio Network. Now, the voice of the Kernels. In his 11th season, here's John Rogers.
Well, greetings from Veterans Memorial Stadium. We're standing by for what we hope will be Game 3 of our 4-game series with the Southwest Michigan Devil Rays. A storm has descended upon the city of Five Seasons. We saw this coming about 2 hours ago, coming in from the west, and right now the tarp is on the field here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. A very, very stiff, strong wind is blowing out from home plate towards right center field, and we're having very little rain right now. We had some heavy rain a few moments ago, but right now the skies are very dark and it's murky and overcast here. We've had a perfect record in terms of playing all of our games without a doubleheader, and I know that the Midwest League award-winning groundskeeping crew here at the ballpark, headed by Jesse Rader and Colonel General Manager Jack Rader, we will do everything possible to entertain and play this game before what was expected to be a sizable crowd on this hot Monday evening. Right now, the tarp is on the field, and as I say, the Kernels very much want to play the Devil Rays because we have a noon game scheduled tomorrow and then a day off Wednesday, and we will do everything possible. This field drains better than any in the Midwest League. Couple that with the fact that Colonel General Manager Jack Rader is committed to playing no matter what, no matter how long the wait. And as you probably know, the game is in Jack Rader, our general manager's hands. When the game starts, if it were to start, then the umpiring crew of Corey Hinga and Jason Alper would then decide as the evening progresses whether the grounds are safe to play and those sorts of things. But I am very optimistic that we will be playing baseball here this evening. In fact, Andy Pantini, did you have any word, Andy, as if a starting time? Okay. So we're going to proceed. In fact, the skies are clearing to the west. We're going to proceed as normal. And our guest on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show, we have two of them. Andrew Emick, the Kernel strength and conditioning coach, joined us yesterday before the Kernel 4-0 win, over the Devil Rays, and Andrew Emick will be with us again, along with the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim strength and conditioning coach, T.J. Harrington, and those two fellows are going to broach a very important subject with us right now on the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show, and that is the recent revelation of the use of illegal performance-enhancing drugs in baseball. Major League Baseball, professional baseball, minor league baseball. It's been a real black eye for baseball, and many people, probably justifiably so, think that Commissioner Bud Selig is part of the problem, and others blame it on the Players Union, the Major League Players Association Union, and others. There's enough blame to go around. Others cite the players themselves being unethical and essentially cheating the game and the players that don't use illegal performance-enhancing drugs. And with that as a base, T.J. Harrington, you're the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim strength and conditioning coach. You're visiting Cedar Rapids. T.J., how do the players attain these illegal performance-enhancing drugs?
Well, today's athletes have the opportunity to get these performance-enhancing drugs really anywhere they want. They have the financial means of getting everything. We have a number of players from Mexico, the Dominican leagues, wherever it may be. So to get things over here through players that you know is easy to do, also with for example, the Barry Bonds situation, you have the ability to get things through doctors by writing you scripts and different ways of getting HGH and different steroids of that type. So today's ball players with their financial means, the people that they know, people that are willing to do things for them behind the scenes, really their sources are unlimited as to where they can tap these resources. So it becomes a matter, TJ, if the so-called resources are there to obtain these illegal performance-enhancing drugs, these dangerous type of substances, it becomes a matter of trying to convince the players through common sense and education that it's not worth it. And also what baseball may finally start being to do is institute some very stiff and penalties as a deterrent. Exactly. The penalties are getting to where they should be now. The thing we need to educate these players about is they look at the short-term gains. Within 5 years, if I start taking them now, could I make it to the major leagues? Could I go from $10,000 a year to $10 million a year? Can I do these things? However, they never tend to look at the long-term effects. Is it like a Ken Caminetti situation where they die at 35 years old? Different things like that. They don't look at the long-term. They look at the short-term, making sure their family's comfortable, making all the money they can make while they can, and deal with the long-term effects when they have to, but they don't understand the devastation of these long-term effects. We'll talk about those in a moment, TJ, specifically. TJ Harrington is the Angel Roving Conditioning and Strength Coordinator. He makes sure that the whole minor league system does things the proper way in terms of strength and conditioning. And here in Cedar Rapids, we have Andrew Emick, who works with the team every day. Andrew, in terms of the use of illegal performance-enhancing drugs, this is something that, as TJ alluded to, we have to be sure to educate the players, and also we have to appeal to their sense of fairness because it's cheating in essence if one guy is using them and others aren't. What do we do on the ground here in Cedar Rapids to educate? Is it done in spring training? Is it done by you? Is it done by you in conjunction with our trainer, Eric Munson? How do we let the guys know, A, it's illegal, B, it's unethical, and C, it's harmful to their health?
During spring training, the guys had to watch a video and sign a waiver there, and every day they were told to, stay away from things like that. And they know from the media and everything that it's getting pretty popular, that they're cracking down on it, and they have to watch what they're doing. And also, once they got to Cedar Rapids, we also had to watch another video and sign the paper saying that they watched it and they understand everything.
Andrew, you can also appeal to guys on a personal level. They look up to you. You're just slightly older or it's the same age as some of them. And sometimes, I don't want to call it peer pressure, but just heart-to-heart or man-to-man talk with a guy can mean even more than the video training.
Yeah. A lot of the guys, they'll come up to me and ask me what kind of supplements should I get and everything like that. And as strength coaches, we're kind of on a hush-hush. We don't really tell them what they can and should take or anything like that because it could turn back, and if they fail a drug test, it could come back on us. So pretty much there's only a few things that we might mention as like nutritional shakes like Gatorade, things like that, or EAS, that brand. They usually that's been pretty much said that they could take that kind of thing. So mainly I'll just say eat healthy, work out right, and they can take nutritional shakes, and that'd be fine.
What about the brand we see in baseball a lot called Metarex or Metrex? Is that something that is okay to take? TJ, do you know about Metrex? Metrex so far is the only company that has taken the steps through the NFL to have things certified so that their players pass tests. So as of right now, the NFL has stiffer penalties and stiffer drug rules than Major League Baseball does as of right now. So anything that's safe through the NFL is also considered safe through Major League Baseball. And as of right now, EAS is the only company that has taken the steps to have their products proven. So when it comes down to supplement companies, if it's EAS, they do have probably 4 or 5 products that are NFL approved that I can also say that's safe for us to take. Other than that, any company, anything from GNC, whatever it may be, we really have no idea to tell you what's in it, if you're safe, if you're going to pop an illegal test, or what's going to happen. Let's talk just for a moment about testing, fellas. The Olympics have tried to do a great job, the International Olympic movement, and if caught, it's usually a lifetime ban. How often are our players tested and on what basis? In other words, is it announced or is it random?
It's a surprise. Yeah, it's pretty much a surprise test. The guys really don't know when it's going to come, and so far these guys haven't been tested yet this year, but I'm sure they will be before the end of the season.
TJ, it could come at any time. Comes at any time. We always do a test in spring training at the beginning of the year. And then after that, it will be from random people on teams being tested to whole teams being tested. Everything's unannounced, so even for me to tell guys we got a drug test in a month, that doesn't happen because I don't know till the doctors call the day before and say we're going to be in there at noon, have your players in, and so it's a really hands-off situation behind closed doors, and that's the best way if you're going to pop guys and have these firm penalties. That's the only way to do it.
TJ Harrington and Andrew Emick giving straightforward answers to some tough questions about a problem that has plagued baseball for at least 10 or 12 years. That's the use of illegal performance-enhancing drugs. And we'll wrap things up with the two strength and conditioning experts from the Kernels and the Angels next here on the Kernel Radio Network.
Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative. We're here for your communication needs, internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make us a team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communications.
Tuna Communications Triple Play, voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
A very enlightening talk on the South Slope Communications Triple Play show about the use and the policies and hopefully the intervention and prevention of use of illegal performance-enhancing substances. And we're going to finish up with our guest, Andrew Emick, who's the Kernel Strength and Conditioning Coach, and TJ Harrington, who runs the strength and conditioning throughout the Los Angeles of Angels Anaheim system with our minor leaguers, with two more questions, fellas. First of all, TJ, to a layperson like myself, what is human growth hormone and why is it hard for certain tests to detect it?
Well, as of right now, there's actually no test to detect human growth hormone. There is one test that they do use at certain levels now with sports. The price of it is way too high to do mass testing, and it's also done through blood work. So to take a quick urine test or hair sample or anything like that can't detect human growth. So as of right now, it's just a financial impossibility for us to test for human growth hormone.
What is it?
Human growth hormone, basically your body produces it in small amounts.
Naturally?
Naturally, yes. So basically what it's doing is you're taking what your body already produces but giving it more of it. So it's basically boosting your testosterone levels that you have through a natural human way as opposed to through steroids. So that's why this is a little harder to detect and the tests aren't quite there yet.
And Andrew, let's finish up with you. Let's take the situation that TJ just described, adding human growth hormone, which sounds to me to be the wrong thing, dangerous, illegal, and unethical. Let's combine that with steroid use. And could you just list some of the dangers and results that someone can expect if they choose to make these wrong choices? What could happen to them?
Well, problems could be smaller, they could be large, like with the contaminated situation. But a lot of guys may suffer like internal problems with their organs, like liver damage or kidney damage or something like that. But also they could suffer, family problems as well. Having, guys have like things called roid rages where they may go off and
mood changes.
Yeah, mood changes, and they can take a chance of losing friends, or family may be splitting up or something like that. So,
TJ, Andrews talked about internal organs and mood changes. Those are certainly two bad side effects of illegal performance-enhancing drugs. What about things like musculoskeletal problems? Can they be a side effect?
Yeah, they're a big side effect, and that's things you find with players, especially in the NFL, that you can see easily. The guys break down as soon as they retire. They stop taking the drugs, their body goes back to a normal rate or even a lower rate because your body's not used to producing those hormones because you were getting it from an external source. So if your body doesn't produce them the way they should as you reach your mid-30s and 40s, all of a sudden you deteriorate a little bit quicker, and that's what you're starting to see with a lot of these athletes. Once they're done playing, their bodies kind of start shutting down, and you hear about guys in their 30s and 40s now dying or having heart attacks and different things like that. And unfortunately, that's the stage that we're getting at.
Lyle Alzado comes to mind, Bill Romanowski. Fellas, I can't thank you enough. You answered every question head on, and I hope our listeners gained a lot of helpful insights, and hopefully when choices are to be made, I hope everyone makes the right choices, and it's great to know that the Angels and the Kernels are fully behind this effort to eradicate illegal performance-enhancing drugs which have tarnished the game. Who knows to what extent yet? We've yet to determine that, but I appreciate your candid answers.
Well, thank you. I appreciate you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Andrew and TJ, please treat yourself to a meal at any of our Zio Giano's Italian spaghetti houses. Pasta that makes this Colonel Clubhouse sing. The Zio Giano's caters to one person up to 10,001. TJ Harrington, Andrew Emick, thank you once again.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Up next, Game 3, Kernels and Devil Rays. I'll have the starting lineups when we return.
Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative. We're here for your communication needs. Internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners. We make a good team. Service second to none. South Slope Cooperative Communications.
Tuna Communications Triple Play, voice, video, and data with South Slope Cooperative in North Liberty. South Slope's lineup features everything that connects you to information. Digital wireless phones, long-distance plans, data home and business wiring, video conferencing, dial-up and high-speed internet service, fiber optic installation and termination, and digital video TV service in most areas. For all your communication needs, think South Slope. Visit them at southslope.com.
The hottest day of the year is now turned into a stormy early Monday evening with bright blue skies on the horizon. That's our hope, at least, here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. John Rogers with you on following the South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. I want to send out a special welcome to our listeners in Cereal City, USA. Battle Creek, Michigan is the home of the Devil Rays, and their outstanding young play-by-play man, Mike Wagenheim, is on the comeback trail. Mike has suffered a very, very raspy, almost loss of voice, and Mike is, as I say, trying to nurse himself back into great shape, and we're just honored and flattered that Mike would ask if we could pipe in our broadcast to the Battle Creek area, and we hope that we'll be able to bring you action here this evening. Game 3 of a 4-game series that between the Kernels and the Tampa Bay Devil Ray minor leaguers, the Southwest Michigan Devil Rays. Southwest Michigan trounced us Saturday night 9-3, and then the Kernels behind starter Moose Mosbach bounced back with a 4-0 victory yesterday, and that win was big for the Kernels because it elevated us back into first place in the Western Division second half standings. Kane County actually leads the Western Division standings, but they've already qualified for the playoffs, and because of that, the Kernels have to keep their eye on the teams that are trailing us. And with the 4-0 win yesterday, the Kernels have a 14-10 overall record in the second half, and we lead the swing of the Quad Cities by a game, Beloit by 2 games, and Burlington by 5 games. Those are the teams that we have to be most concerned with because Kane County and Peoria have both qualified for the playoffs by virtue of their first half finishes. Peoria won the West. Kane County finished second, so they've already qualified for the playoffs. The Kernels start play tonight at 14-10, 1 game ahead of the swing of the Quad Cities. They'll be our next opponents. We open up a 4-game series with the St. Louis Cardinal minor leaguers in Davenport starting on Thursday. The conditions here are getting brighter by the moment. The grounds crew put the tarp on the field about 30 minutes ago, and both club houses have been told that the 7 o'clock start, the scheduled start, will be delayed as this storm hopefully passes through. A very, very strong breeze is blowing. Well, it's hard to say what direction it's swirling, but for the most part it looks to be coming blowing out from home plate toward right center field. And as we look beyond the center field wall and above the Cedar Rapids skyline, the horizon is still very gray, big gray overcast clouds and sky, but then as we look to our left, the west, we see clearing skies. So Kernel General Manager Jack Rader assured us that we'll do everything in our power to get this game in. The field itself has not taken much water at all. Not much rain fell. It was a heavy downpour for maybe 30 seconds, and that was it. And otherwise, it's just windy and very dark. But once the decision is made to take the tarp off, it shouldn't take long to get the field into playing shape. We have a number of exciting things to share with you on our broadcast this evening. First of all, Howie Kendrick, former Colonel Howie Kendrick, played and contributed big time as our parent club, the Angels, beat Tampa Bay in Southern California yesterday 7-5. Former Colonel All-Star second baseman and Midwest League batting titleist Howie Kendrick, just up from Salt Lake where he was hitting in the 370s. He went 3 for 4 for our parent club with a couple of doubles. Howie drove in 2 runs and drove in the eventual game-winning run as our Angels have won 10 out of their last 11. The Angels are now a game above 500 and are playing very good baseball with Howie Kendrick leading the offense, former Colonel Howie Kendrick yesterday. And we also have a delight tomorrow to share with you. We have a noon game tomorrow. Those are very popular. A noon start tomorrow, and that's a triple play Tuesday. And that means when you come to the ballpark, you can enjoy any regular sandwich, beverage, and chips for only $5. That's tomorrow at noon, and we'll have that game for you right here in the zone with our South Slope Communications Triple Play Show. Bob Brooks will be with us. It's Brooks at Bat tomorrow, and we'll have that for you tomorrow morning at 11:40. So we look forward to bringing you noon baseball here in the zone tomorrow. It's just past the top of the hour here in the City of Five Seasons, Cedar Rapids, and you're enjoying Colonel Baseball on ESPN Radio 1600 KCRG. We'll set the starting lineups for you now, and then we may be taking a break and sending it back to the zone. Time will tell whether we do that or not, but right now, let's give you the starting lineups. I know a lot of you folks love to listen in across eastern Iowa, in Cedar Rapids, and also online at www.kernels.com. I again want to welcome our listeners from Cereal City, USA, the world headquarters of Kellogg's Cereal. It's an honor to know that that part of Southwest Michigan is listening to this broadcast. And again, our Game 3 scheduled start has been delayed by a storm that has descended upon the City of Five Seasons, but things are looking brighter and brighter by the moment. This Southwest Michigan ball club is skippered by Cedar Barnes. Cedar is really a very well-known figure in the Detroit area. He played the last 4 years of his big league career as a Tiger. He was with Cincinnati to start his major league career, then went with the Montreal Expos. The Cardinals had Cedar Barnes briefly in '87 when they were an Eastern Division championship team, and then Cedar Barnes played in Detroit. Cedar lives in Indianapolis. He's a 49-year-old, and this is his 12th season in coaching, his first year at the helm with the Devil Rays. This will be Cedar Barnes' starting lineup this evening for the 9-15 Southwest Michigan Devil Rays. The Devil Rays are in the cellar along with Lansing in the Eastern Division second half standings with that 9-15 mark. Leading off this evening for the Devil Rays is Jackson Brennan. Jackson's a young fella out of Gonzaga University. Batting second, Neil Walton, a sleek, trim, 6'5" shortstop who's had trouble with the bat this season, hitting 177, but the Devil Rays really like Neil Walton. He comes from a fine baseball pedigree. He's out of the University of Cal State Fullerton. Batting third will be Cesar Suarez. Cesar Suarez will hit third for the Devil Rays and play third base. The fellow that's driven in the most runs for Southwest Michigan, J.T. Hall, will bat cleanup. Hall has 47 RBIs this season. J.T. appeared as a pinch hitter in yesterday's game. In fact, Moose Mosbach was able to strike out J.T. Hall when he pinch hit in the 8th inning with runners at the corners. Batting fifth, Rhyne Hughes. He spells his name unusually, R-H-Y-N-E. Rhyne Hughes will play first base and bat fifth for Southwest Michigan. He's from Pearl River Community College down in Mississippi. Batting fifth and catching for Southwest Michigan, he caught the series opener here on Saturday night, is Christian Lopez. The left fielder will hit seventh, Chris Cunningham. Cunningham's from the Midwest. He's from South Suburban Junior College in the Chicagoland area. Batting eighth and seeing his first action in this series out of Stony Brook University in the Empire State of New York, Matt Devens. Devens will serve as the DH and hit eighth. And batting ninth, he came into the ball game and played shortstop in the eighth inning yesterday. Hunter Vick, a 24-year-old from the state of Alabama, will bat ninth and play second base for Southwest Michigan. On the hill is a fella from the Midwest, Wisconsin Whitewater, Greg Reinhard. There's a Wisconsin German name for you, Reinhard. Greg Reinhard was taken in the sixth round last year out of Wisconsin Whitewater by Tampa Bay. And Reinhard's record this year is 3 wins and 6 losses. His earned run average is 5.24. Reinhard is making his 18th start of the year. The 6'2", 215-pound right-hander's 22 years old, and he last pitched Wednesday in Grand Rapids, Michigan, a no decision for the Devil Rays in a Southwest Michigan 5-4 victory over the Whitecaps. In that start, Reinhard went 5 1/3 innings, gave the Whitecaps only 3 runs on 5 hits. He fanned 7 in 5 1/3, walked 4, the league hitting .275 against Greg Reinhard. That's the Devil Ray starting lineup. Before we give you the Allen Motor Company Kernels starting lineup, we have more good news to share with you regarding this stormy front. Now, we may have an announcement. Andy Pantini is our public address announcer. Okay, Andy Pantini asking our crowd to just be patient and understanding, and there was some lightning off to the east of us. That's good news. It's moving away from us. Andy Pantini, our public address announcer, just let our audience here in Cedar Rapids at the ballpark know that the reason the tarp isn't being pulled yet, even though it stopped raining and the skies appear to be clearing, is we're just not sure, based on accurate satellite imagery and National Weather Service reports, that all the stormy weather is over with. So that's why we're not taking the tarp off yet. I'm John Rogers. I'm reporting from Veterans Memorial Stadium, where the Kernels, who are leading the Western Division second half standings, a game ahead of Quad Cities and 2 ahead of Beloit, are going to be playing the Southwest Michigan Devil Rays in the third game of a 4-game series. Allen Motor Company is now proud to present the Kernel starting lineup. Allen's is celebrating in a big way their 103rd birthday bash. It's important you know that, because it means that Allen's has an outstanding wide selection of pre-owned vehicles. Let me give you an example if you're budget-minded. A 1998 Dodge Caravan, now at Allen's, is just $4,995. A 2005 Chevy Uplander is only $19,775 right now at Allen Motor Company. And the ever-popular 2003 Olds Silhouette is only $16,995 right now at Allen Motor Company during Allen's 103rd birthday bash. Allen's is open late tonight until 9 o'clock, and they're open until 6 on Tuesday, Wednesday, and Fridays, and Allen's is open until 5 o'clock on Saturday evenings. With that, let's set the Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup for you. Again, we're waiting for the grounds crew to determine that it is prudent and safe to take the tarp off so that we can play Game 3 of this 4-game series against the Southwest Michigan Devil Rays. The Allen Motor Company Kernel starting lineup, leading off in center field out of Texas Tech, Madison Edwards. Larry Infante, a 20-year-old Venezuelan left-handed hitting second baseman, will bat second and play second for the Kernels. Hitting third in the Allen Motor Company order this evening, switch-hitting all-star Kernel shortstop Heinle Stacia. Heinle leads the ball club with 25 doubles. Mark Trumbo is batting cleanup, and Mark will be at first base in the Allen Motor Company lineup this evening. Batting fifth and playing third base, he had a big two-out RBI single that kept the Colonel 4-run fifth inning yesterday. Dallas Morris will bat fifth. He's at the hot corner. The Colonel catcher is Brett Martinez. Brett started our 4-run fifth inning by drawing a leadoff walk yesterday. Martinez will bat sixth and catch. Jordan Renz is in the midst of a tailspin. We need to get the all-star Colonel going. He's 2 for his last 29. Jordan will bat seventh and be in right field. Jordan Renz leads the Colonels with 15 homers and is tops on our ball club with 53 runs driven in. The Colonel designated hitter will bat eighth. That's Flint Whipke. And batting ninth, he delivered the biggest blow in yesterday's Colonel 4-0 win, a two-out bases-loaded 3-run double in the fifth inning that broke a scoreless tie. Marco Albano. Marco will bat ninth, and he's in left field. Marco told me in the Colonel clubhouse about 5 hours ago that he was both glad and sad that his big blow came against the Devil Rays starter, Mike Wodarczyk, because Wodarczyk and Marco were very close friends and teammates last year at Boston College. So Marco said he would make it up to Mike Wodarczyk for that bases-loaded 3-run, 2-out double in the fifth by treating him to a post-game meal this evening. Rounding out the Allen Motor Company Colonel starting lineup is Tommy Mendoza. The Colonel, 18-year-old right-hander from Hialeah, Florida, is 7-5 with a 3.98 ERA. Tommy Mendoza has been brilliant his last 6 starts. I'll give you those impressive numbers in just a moment. Let's start with Tommy's last start. It was Wednesday here at home to kick off our 7-game homestand. Tommy beat the Clinton Lumber Kings 6-2. Mendoza, an 18-year-old right-hander, 5th-round pick of the Angels last year, went 6 innings on Wednesday night, gave the Lumber Kings just 2 runs, only 1 earned in 6 innings, struck out 6, walked 1, struck out 3, walked 1, allowed 6 hits in 6 innings. Tommy Mendoza, in his last 6 starts, is 4-0 with 2 no decisions. In his last 6 starts, Mendoza has allowed only 8 earned runs. And in those 6 starts, he's pitched 44 2/3 innings, yielding only 8 earned runs on just 33 hits in 44 2/3. Tommy has struck out 34 in 44 2/3, and this is even more impressive. Tommy Mendoza has walked only 7 batters in his last 6 starts that encompass 44 2/3 innings. That's remarkable. And we always like to say hello to Tommy's parents, Angelinos Mendoza, who also goes by Cookie, and Nelson Mendoza. They tune in to all the Colonel games down in the Miami area. We also want to give out a special hello to Tommy and Gail Howell. They emailed me recently and let me know how much the broadcasts mean to them. They're Chris Howell's folks. And also hello to Mark Trumbo. His mom, Debbie, is kind enough to email us quite often and tell us how much she enjoys our broadcasts as well. Well, that's the Allen Motor Company Colonel starting lineup. Let's go ahead and give you the umpires. They're sponsored by Anderson & Brown Eye Care. Anderson & Brown Eye Care is your complete, comprehensive, full-service eye care center. It's easy in, easy out at Anderson & Brown Eye Care. Their new location is ideally situated right off I-380, Boyson Road, exit 25 in Hiawatha. It's a brand-new facility. The entire building, including the waiting room and examining rooms at Anderson & Brown Eye Care, are wheelchair accessible. And they have evening and Saturday hours for your convenience. You can have your eyes examined by Dr. Tom Anderson or Dr. Todd Brown. Both are Colonel season ticket holders. And after Dr. Brown or Dr. Anderson examine your eyes at Anderson & Brown Eye Care, you can choose your glasses and or contact lenses right on site. Things are coming into focus at Anderson & Brown Eye Care, and our umpires this evening, Jason Alper, A-L-P-E-R, will work the diamond, and Corey Hinga, H-I-N-G-A, will be behind the plate. Those are our Anderson & Brown Eye Care umpires this evening. Well, the skies continue to brighten here in eastern Iowa at Veterans Memorial Stadium, where the Cost Cutters Dream Team is now making their way towards the Colonel first base dugout under the able leadership of Colonel Assistant Sonia Massey. So they'll have a thrill of their entire summer by being able to join the Kernels in the first base Kernel dugout and then get their autograph as they trot out onto the field and stand on the field in position with the Kernel players. The report here is good. I'm very, very optimistic that we'll play baseball. It's just a matter of what time Kernel General Manager Jack Rader deems the safe time and the best time to pull the blue tarp, the royal blue tarps that is on the field, and also the letting the managers know when they can get their fellas out from the clubhouses and start to limber up and get the starting pitchers going. We're going to take a break. We're going to hear from a couple of our outstanding sponsors, and again, I want to thank the play-by-play voice of the Southwest Michigan Devil Rays, Mike Wagenheim. Mike just hasn't felt well at all in terms of his voice. He has lost his voice, and he asked very kindly a few hours back if it would be possible for us to pipe our broadcast of this third game of the four-game series back to Cereal City, USA, and I have to compliment all the folks in Battle Creek, Michigan. I've become very good friends with Terry Newton. Terry Newton is a legend in Battle Creek, Michigan. He coaches amateur baseball. He's also an athletic director at a Catholic high school. Terry is a good friend of mine, and I know that Terry knew John Smoltz. John Smoltz is going to be a Hall of Famer, and I know that Terry Newton is a very good friend of John Smoltz. John is from that Battle Creek, Kalamazoo area, and John Smoltz, to me, personifies professionalism and competitive drive. He is how many guys have had great careers as starters, then gone out to the bullpen and saved 40 or 50 games in back-to-back seasons, then come back as an Atlanta Brave, and he's still the best pitcher on that Atlanta Brave staff. And I know he's from the Southwest Michigan area, and I also want you listeners in Southwest Michigan to know that you should be very proud of Derek Jeter. I believe Derek's from the Kalamazoo area, and from what I understand, he's been very, very generous in contributing to educational, athletic, and special causes back in Southwest Michigan. So we're very familiar with what a great community you are, and we're very, very privileged to know that our broadcast is being heard in the Battle Creek area this evening. I'll be back in just a moment, and we'll set up a game plan as far as proceeding as we get ready to play. Okay, we just have word that this game will start at 8:15. So this is what I'll do. I'll play several commercial messages. We know the game will start at 8:15. That's the scheduled start time. And I'll do my best to reach my station here in Cedar Rapids and see if they can hook back into our great ESPN programming. But right now, a break, and I'll be back in 90 seconds here on the Kernel Radio Network.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Kernel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
Meet Jim. When it's nice out, he spends weekends in his yard trying to kill weeds.
Gotcha.
Meet Dave. He spends weekends on the green. That's because Greg's Lawn Service takes care of his lawn. Mowing, fertilizing, pruning, and, weed control. Greg does the big jobs, too. Landscaping, retaining walls, curb edging, and patios. So when you've had enough of those little devils...
Aha! Yes!
Call 393-0101. Greg's Lawn Service, a cut above the rest.
Hi, I'm Tanya Sedlock, your local Pekin Insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. We all know how quickly life can change. You buy a new car or a new home. Your family's blessed with a new baby. Your teenager starts driving the family car. I'm here to help with a complete line of insurance plans to give you protection when you need it the most. Pekin Insurance has been in business of insuring people for 85 years. I'm here to put your interests first. Please visit me, Tanya Sedlock, at the Andrews Agency.
John Rogers reporting back from Veterans Memorial Stadium, where we had our hottest day of the year here in eastern Iowa. The temperature rose to 98 degrees, and a storm has descended upon our area, but the storm actually has not dropped much rain at all. The wind is certainly whipped up, and the Kernel award-winning grounds crew, the Midwest League award-winning grounds crew headed by Jesse Rader, got the tarp on in plenty of time, so we have a very solid game plan in place to share with you. This game is scheduled to start at 8:15, and our good friends back in the zone have assured us that they'll get us back with our intro at 8:08, and from now until then, we're going to send it back to the zone for the outstanding ESPN programming that 1600 brings you. So that is our plan. I'm John Rogers, and I look forward to greeting you again at 8:08. That's when the introduction will roll, bringing us back to Veterans Memorial Stadium. In the meantime, in the next 45 minutes, enjoy ESPN radio programming. We'll greet you again at 8:08. This is John Rogers on the Kernel Radio Network.
This has been a special sports presentation from The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids. Now back to our regularly scheduled ESPN programming already in progress.
I'm John Stash. Now, the Atlanta Braves haven't had a season where they didn't finish first since 1990. That streak's likely to end. They're 12 games behind the Mets, but after a 3-20 skid that saw them land in last place, the Braves are now in second. They've won 5 in a row. They're 5.5 out for the NL wild card. Chipper Jones has led the way. 14 straight games, at least one extra base hit. Hasn't happened since the Pirates' Paul Wainer in 1927. And tonight in St. Louis, the Cardinals have won 7 in a row themselves. The Cards started Jeff Weaver, and in the third inning, Brian McCann hit a grand slam off him. Atlanta leads 5-0. Washington trails at Florida 4-1. Marlins lead there in the fifth. Ricky Nolasco a 2-run single. Hanley Ramirez a home run. Colorado and Pittsburgh are 1-1 in the fourth. The Rockies have lost 7 in a row. American League, could the Yankees be moving into first place? They lead Seattle 3-1. Now in the top of the fifth inning, Miguel Cairo a 2-run single, a 3-run second. While the Red Sox get to score off Kansas City's Luke Hudson. 3-0 Royals fourth inning. David DeJesus a 2-run single. KC got all 3 in the second. Toronto leads Texas 2-1. That's fourth inning. Also in the fourth, Baltimore 3, Oakland 0. Tampa Bay is underway. No score in Minnesota. From the NHL, Eric Lindros signed with the Dallas Stars. They'll hope he can stay healthy, something he hasn't been able to do most of his career. New deal in L.A. for Kings goalie Matthew Garrod. NBA 7-footer Joel Presbilla. He signed with Portland. Adrian Griffin leaves Dallas to sign with Chicago. And from the Rocky Mountain News, J.R. Smith, just acquired by the Bulls from the Hornets, will now be headed to Denver in exchange for veteran point guard Howard Eisley. Chad Ford, ESPN.com, reports that Washington's going to shell out $23 million over 5 years for Darius Singalia. The 135th British Open tees off Thursday at Royal Liverpool. Tiger Woods looking to do a lot better than he did at the U.S. Open when he, of course, missed the cut. He's the defending champion. He'll play with 3-time winner Nick Faldo, and they'll go off Thursday just after 9 a.m. Eastern Time. Tennis, the men this week in Indianapolis, the women in Cincinnati with Serena Williams in the field, now ranked 140th. She hasn't played since the Australian Open.
A sports network entirely dedicated to supporting your iPod and MP3 addiction. Experience Pod Center at ESPNradio.com.
Game night on ESPN Radio. She's Amy Lawrence. I'm the one with the brain freeze, Ryan Russillo. I feel like a 15-year-old skateboarder outside of 7-Eleven right now.
Why do you have a brain freeze, Ryan?
I just drank a Coolada here, and I went at it a little too hard before the update was over.
Well, you needed something to cool you down, considering you spent hours and hours today driving around in a car with no air conditioning.
I've been driving nonstop for
That's
like 3 days.
hazardous to your health. I don't think you should be doing that. They would tell old people not to do that.
Yeah, well, they should tell middle-aged people not to do it either, because I felt terrible. Well, you know, if I say young, then you're going to say, well, you're not that young. So I'm going to save you from even being able to make a joke.
You can read my mind, yes.
Yeah, but yeah, I drank way too much of it a little too fast. I haven't had that feeling in a while, back since the blue raspberry Slurpee days. No? No,
I just love the personal stories always with you.
Yeah, but you never had a Slurpee or a brain freeze or anything like that?
I get them all the time.
You get them all the time?
With ice
so you're
cream,
immune to them almost? Is that what you're telling me?
No.
That I'm weak?
Okay, yeah, that.
All right, there we go. But a division that you could probably say is maybe more weak than strong is the AL West. And if you look back a month ago, June 17th, the Los Angeles Angels were 31-37. They were 6 games out behind Oakland. Texas only half game out, but Seattle was 5 games out. So you probably started to think that this division was separating itself with maybe Oakland and Texas being the top 2 teams, Seattle and the Angels bringing up the rear. But the Angels have straightened things out. They're one of the hottest teams in baseball, and they probably feel great about where they're headed in that division because there's no team that they should be scared of.
Yeah, it's a division that is only separated by 4 games, as we've talked about, from top to bottom, and it's wide open, as opposed to some of the other divisions in Major League Baseball where you have the haves and the have-nots. The West in both the American League and the National League are completely wide open.
And if you were a team that is going to be active and you're worried about how things are going to go down, why would you even not want to get into the buying part of it? Why would you sit there and say, well, I don't really know if it makes a ton of sense for us to make a move, if there, of course, is a move that is available. And if you're one of these Western squads, you feel like it's still open now, and it probably should be open as late as September as well.
We're going to head to L.A. and ask Rory Marcus, who is the Angels radio play-by-play voice, exactly what he thinks of the American League West. He joins us via the OnStar hotline here on Game Night on ESPN Radio, presented by Keystone Light. So, Rory, the Angels are on fire lately. Exactly why have they been so hot?
There's a couple of reasons, Amy. I think one main reason is that they're finally catching the ball and making the plays. You know, for most of the season, they've led the league in allowing unearned runs and were way up there in errors. And finally, they started playing much better defense. So combine that with some guys getting some hits and some of the young guys like Howie Kendrick yesterday with 3 hits making contributions, and they put together a streak. I think they waited all year long, really, to win that 10 out of 11 or 10 out of 12. Now they've done that, and in this division, if you do that, then you make those games up quickly.
Yeah, Roy, this is a team that at one point 11 games under 500, and I think some of that youth has really helped this team become a lot better. And it's not really something you're used to seeing from the Angels. It seems like they're more patient, but I guess the change has been that they have had one to play the younger players.
Well, they have, and they wanted to right from the start this year, and the young players that they chose to play early all struggled. Howie Kendrick, the first time he came up, had a tough time. Casey Kotchman's just been ill most of the season and unable to contribute. Dallas McPherson hurt quite a bit. And, McPherson and Kotchman were 2 guys that they thought would be their 2 starting corner infielders. So, that didn't work out, and the pitching wasn't quite as incredible as they thought it might be. The starting rotation struggled at times. And so they just kind of struggle along, under 500, and they'd win 1 and lose 2 and win a couple and lose 1, and just couldn't put together a great streak. But now, with the defense playing better and those starting pitchers, including Jared Weaver, who had to be scratched tonight, but nobody's beaten him yet. So it's all kind of come together at the same time, and they've made this move in the division, and now I think it's up for grabs.
We're talking with 710 ESPN's Rory Marcus out of L.A., the Angels play-by-play voice. Hey, Vladimir Guerrero, he went crazy over the weekend, as he can do, 7 for 11 with 6 RBI in that 3-game sweep of Tampa Bay. Anything that he does anymore surprise you, Rory?
No. Anything he does, you won't be surprised, no matter what it is. When he tried to steal third yesterday and was thrown out at an inopportune time, and you just kind of go, well, that's the way Vladdy plays. It's all out all the time. And I don't know how you would pitch to this guy if you were the opposition. He's either red hot or semi-hot. And he had a little bit of an off June, but now he's in one of those streaks where he stands up there. As you know, he doesn't wear batting gloves. He just looks like a warrior at the plate in the batter's box. And I don't know how you get him out right now. And I don't think they know either, the people pitching to him. So he's just as hot as he can be, and he doesn't take you by surprise. You know when he comes up what to expect, and more times than not, he delivers. He hit a grand slam home run a couple of nights ago to help win a ball game against Tampa Bay. And you're right, Amy. He's just as hot as he can be, and when he's that way, you should probably walk him.
How is his back feeling these days, Rory?
He's one of those guys that when he's just walking around, he looks like he ought to just sit down because you think, man, that guy must be hurting. And then all of a sudden, going from first to third, he turns it on. He has a good turn of foot and some great speed. So, to answer the question about his back, I don't know. If you just see him getting on the bus, you think that he's ready for senior citizenship. But on the field, he looks great.
Rory, can you explain to us how strange the storyline between Jared and Jeff Weaver being on this team and essentially one brother replacing the other in this rotation?
Well, Ryan, to tell you the truth, I think Jared, the younger Weaver, felt a lot worse about it than Jeff did. I think Jeff Weaver, as the season went on, knew as he went to 3-7 and 3-8 and 3-9, you can't just keep going out there and losing games. Eventually it's going to stop, and they're going to do something with you. And that's what happened there. And, maybe Jeff will be successful with the Cardinals. I hope so. He was a good guy here with the Angels, and everybody liked him. It just didn't work. And so when Jared Weaver got called up, and to get called up, they had to knock his brother off the team. I think Jared felt a lot worse about it because, hey, that's his big brother, and that's who he's looked up to, and that's kind of his mentor. And I think he felt bad about it. But when they talked, and Jeff talked to him and said, hey, that's baseball. It's a business. I'll be fine. Something good will happen for me, and it has now with the Cardinals. I think everything was fine. And there was just a little bit of feeling bad you could kind of see on Jared's face, but he got over it quickly, and it certainly hasn't affected him on the mound.
It's Game Night on ESPN Radio. Ryan Russillo, Amy Lawrence, and Rory Marcus, Angels play-by-play voice, 710 ESPN Radio in L.A. As you look at these four teams in the American League West, what's the difference? After half a year, what separates these teams?
Not much. When you look at the schedule, the Angels play the Athletics 7 of the last 10 games. And I just think both teams feel that it'll come down to those games. And the Texas Rangers, they have a much better bullpen now. They've managed to hang in there, even though some of their superstars aren't hitting the way that we're accustomed to seeing them. But not much separates these four teams. The Mariners might be a little bit just a cut below that because they have so much youth and, good youth up the middle in the infield, but still they're very young and their pitching staff's not quite there. But, I think that the three teams, the Angels, the Rangers, and the A's, will go all the way into September without us knowing who's going to win it. And what it'll come down to is the same things it always does, pitching and whoever executes better.
How important is for this team for Bartolo Colon to be an ace again like he has been in the past?
He made a comment yesterday that he's learning to win games without his blazing fastball, and he might not have it anymore. He's had that shoulder problem that rest didn't seem to cure, and the last couple of games, he didn't get the win yesterday, but he pitched well enough. The last couple of games, he's been a different guy. He's been able to change locations and change speeds and get by with a fastball that just occasionally hits 92 or 93. So, I think he's the type of a guy who has so much pride that when he goes out there, he knows that whether he's the ace or whether he's not the ace, that his games are important. And he's made that adjustment. It's kind of hard to tell with him because he doesn't say much to anybody, to the coaches, to the manager. He's just a quiet guy, but a proud warrior, so to speak, that goes out every fifth day and does his job. So obviously he knows that they need a big contribution from him, and that's one of the reasons the Angels struggled early, I think, when you have the returning Cy Young Award winner, a 21-game winner with 0 wins on the 1st of July. It has an effect, but all of a sudden he's back.
Hey, what can you tell us about the rookie pitcher, Dustin Mosley, who's making his debut tonight?
Just that he's probably nervous and that he's not an overpowering pitcher. He's an off-speed guy, and we'll see. He's had a terrific year at Salt Lake City, and tomorrow the Angels have to use another one. Joe Saunders has had a good year in AAA also, who's going to sub for Escobar. So, this is the next couple of days are going to be interesting because you have two pitchers coming up from AAA to make starts for the Angels that we don't know a whole lot about, especially Mosley, because this is the first time he's ever pitched in the big leagues. But everything we hear about him is that he's been terrific. Howie Kendrick, who's been his teammate down there in Salt Lake all year, compared him to Paul Bird, a Paul Bird type with that old-fashioned kind of wind-up and, not overpowering stuff, but just a crafty guy. So we'll see.
The Angels have won 11 of their last 12. They've posted a 2.17 ERA over the last 12 games. They're now just within a game and a half of the American League West leader, Oakland. You'll catch Rory Marcus on 710 ESPN with the Angels play-by-play. Thank you so much for your time.
Thanks, Amy. Thanks, Ryan. I appreciate it.
It's game night on ESPN Radio. Amy Lawrence, Ryan Russillo. And, Amy, when you look at this team with Anaheim, they have had this group of prospects, Casey Kochman, Dallas McPherson, and even some of the younger pitchers of the last few years that have or haven't worked out to different levels. But Howie Kendrick, middle infielder, and also Brendan Wood, another guy who can play shortstop and shown a lot of power in the minor leagues. We're seeing more of this with so many teams that are pitching, but what Anaheim has done is had to stay a little bit more patient, and Kendrick having a really big weekend as far as getting some big hits for this team and getting some wins. So it's good to see that so many of these teams are having this happen, the success from within.
Kendrick was a guest on game night after he had the winning RBI single yesterday, and he mentioned that after he had his first stint in the majors where I think he went 3 for whatever, he struggled a lot. He said he went back to the minors and started working on the patience at the plate, not swinging at every single offering that a pitcher throws up there, and realizing that in order to produce at the major league level, you have to be able to hang in and work the pitcher so that you wait until you get the pitch that you want, even if that means fouling off a bunch. We were just talking about Brian McCann, 9-pitch at bat before he gets the grand slam pitch that he wants from Jeff Weaver. And it really paid off for Howie Kendrick when he went back to the minors and then returned to help the parent club. So maybe that's what it takes, a taste of the majors to realize those things where you're deficient, those areas where you're deficient. It paid off for Howie Kendrick. And a lot of the American League West has been like that. I mean, it's been Oakland's modus operandi that they bring in a lot of new kids, and that's why typically they seem to struggle in the first half of the season, because there's a learning curve for new kids that are coming up and experiencing major league life for the first time. But a lot of other clubs are doing it too.
The NFC East could be possibly the NFL's best division on the field, but which of those teams had the best offseason? We'll tell you next on Game Night on ESPN Radio.
Hey everybody, Mike Golick here. You know what's been bugging me? It's hanging in every one of our showers. The shower caddy. Our wives have taken them over with exfoliates and blueberry-scented soap. But we can reclaim the shower caddy with Dial for Men body wash. It's made for men, so your wife's pink poofy loofah isn't needed unless you're dreamy. Dial for Men just leaves you with a clean and manly feeling. Sometimes I even leave my towel on the floor for good measure, until my wife tells me to pick it up. Dial for Men body wash. Take back the shower.
Are you making too many trips to the bathroom? Super Prostate Formula reduces nighttime urination and improves sleep. We're so confident that you'll be thrilled with Super Prostate Formula that you can try it free. That's right, free. So call now for your free 30-day trial of Super Prostate Formula and reclaim control. Just pay shipping and handling. Call now. 1-800-242-2882. 1-800-242-2882. 1-800-242-2882. CNN Radio Special Report. I'm Stan Case. Explosions rocked Beirut overnight as Israel launched new airstrikes against suspected Hezbollah targets in and around the Lebanese capital. Our Nick Robertson is there.
In the last hour, we've had 4 explosions, 2 coming about half an hour ago. Another one, a sort of a double boom went off perhaps about 20 minutes ago. Those explosions, all it seems, in the southern suburbs of Beirut.
Earlier, Hezbollah fired more rockets into Israel. Christiane Amanpour is in Haifa.
There has been rockets falling in the northern Israel area, the town of Safat, where near a hospital there, a rocket fell, shattering glass, and we're told that 5 injuries have been incurred over there.
Israeli Prime Minister Ehud Olmert is pledging to continue military assaults until Hezbollah halts its strikes and returns captured Israeli soldiers. This is a special report from CNN Radio. The U.S. Senate is headed for a vote Tuesday on stem cell research. President Bush has threatened to veto the measure, which would overturn limits he placed on federal funding. Delaware Congressman Mike Castle supports embryonic research, but doubts lawmakers can override a veto.
Because they will just voted on it, I don't think you'll see many change votes there in terms of overriding the veto. And there may even be Republicans who voted for this but are reluctant to go against the president in terms of overriding the veto.
The House already has approved the bill. NASA has the bounce back in its step following a near-flawless shuttle mission.
Everything's going really well right now.
Launch Director Mike Leinbach says Discovery is in great shape after a 13-day trip. Late August is the target for the next mission. Mickey Spillane once said he wrote books to make money, not to please critics or become famous. The 88-year-old creator of the Mike Hammer mysteries has died in South Carolina after a long illness. The books, he wrote 13 of them, sold more than 100 million copies. The most trusted name in news. This is CNN Radio.
This real estate moment is presented by RE/MAX.
What to look for when you choose a real estate agent. More in a moment.
Where do you want to be?
I'll bet you $1 if we look on RE/MAX.com, we'll just find RE/MAX listings.
I bet you're wrong.
Okay, let's see. RE/MAX, somebody else.
Looks like all the listings to me.
Why would RE/MAX do that?
To give us consumers what we want.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, way cool.
Just like you.
Thanks, but you still owe me $1. Find your perfect place. It's easier than ever at RE/MAX.com. Nobody sells more real estate than RE/MAX. Each office independently owned and operated. Here are tips to keep in mind when you're looking for a real estate agent. Look for an agent that specializes in the type of transactions that you'll be involved in. Take into consideration whether you are a buyer or a seller, looking for a luxury home or a condo. And be sure to choose a person who communicates well with you. It will save you time when you put your home on the market or when you start your search for a new property. For more information and for all your real estate needs, go to RE/MAX.com.
Coming up, your KCRG TV9 First Alert Storm Team Forecast.
Do you belong to an endangered species? If you're planning to plant or getting ready to build outdoors, wait. There's danger lurking below the sod. Underground utility lines, cable, phone, gas, electric, water, and sewer. Cutting into them may cause financial liability, serious injury, or worse. Don't endanger yourself. Dig safely. Call Iowa One Call 48 hours before you dig to have your underground utilities marked first. It's fast, it's free, it's the law. A public service announcement of Iowa One Call.
I'm meteorologist Danny Ferry. Scattered thunderstorms, a possibility overnight. 63 to 69 for lows. Partly cloudy with an isolated storm for Tuesday, a high 82 to 88. Partly cloudy Tuesday night, maybe a late storm to go with it. A low 64 to 70 degrees. Tomorrow's forecast twice an hour from the TV9 First Alert Storm Team here in the zone. ESPN Radio, 1600 AM.
Get the whole story and something extra. It's the 19th hole with Scott Unash. Weekday afternoons from 3 to 4, only here in the zone. ESPN Radio, 1600 AM.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm John Stanshauer. Big American League Series starting tomorrow. Tigers and White Sox in Chicago. With Detroit 4.5 games ahead. The White Sox just swept by the Yankees in New York, outscored 26-12, and now the Yanks have moved within a half game of Boston and perhaps going to move past them tonight. Yankees have just added to their lead. They are up 4-1 on the Mariners. Fifth inning, Jason Giambi has just belted a home run. Chen-Ming Wang has been sharp once again as the Yanks try to make it 8 wins in their last 9 games. Meanwhile, in Boston, Tim Wakefield done after 4 innings with an apparent back injury. Kansas City leads 3-0 in the fifth. Sox have yet to score off the Royals. Luke Hudson. As for Toronto, only 3.5 games out and apparently on its way to victory tonight, leading Texas 10-1 in the fifth inning. The Blue Jays got 9 in the fourth. Vernon Wells a grand slam. Lyle Overbay a 2-run shot, but playing without all-star Troy Gloster with a sore knee and hardly need him tonight. West leading A's are in Baltimore. Oakland's gotten third baseman Eric Chavez back. He'd been out with tendonitis in both forearms. They're in the fifth inning, and the Orioles lead that one 3-2. Tampa Bay and Minnesota scoreless in the second. The Angels riding a 6-game winning streak. They're only a game and a half out of first. Later tonight, they host Cleveland. National League, Florida leads Washington 4-1, sixth inning. The pitcher, Ricky Nolasco, with a 2-run single. Colorado and Pittsburgh are 1-1 in the sixth. And Atlanta leads St. Louis 6-1 in the fourth inning as the Braves go for a 6th straight win. They knocked out Jeff Weaver with a big hit, a Brian McCann grand slam. Good news on ESPN's Peter Gammons, 3 weeks after suffering a brain aneurysm, released from a Boston hospital, will continue his recovery at a rehab center. His wife says doctors are pleased with his progress. Cowboys safety Keith Davis already out of the hospital, shot for the second time in 3 years early yesterday morning while driving on the interstate in Dallas, where the lieutenant is Rick Watson.
Right now, our detectives are trying to determine if indeed the suspects knew the victim, or if this was targeted at him, or what were the circumstances that led up to this offense.
One bullet grazed the back of Davis's head, another landed in his thigh, but his agent says he'll be ready for training camp, and police continue to investigate.
Major League Baseball on ESPN Radio. The New York Mets play host to the Houston Astros, Saturday at 1 Eastern on ESPN Radio.
Game night on ESPN Radio, presented by Keystone Light. She's Amy Lawrence. I'm Ryan Russillo, and We've spent a little time here watching all these games tonight, and I have to be honest, I have to come clean and admit that even though it's pretty trendy, Amy, and I think Will Ferrell has a lot of fans, whenever I watch him, I just, anything he does, he could grab a Kleenex out of a box of Kleenex and I would laugh. It's just, he sort of has that thing about him that makes everything he does.
That charisma.
I don't even know if it's
Ryan?
charisma. Everything he does, any picture you see of him, he just really makes me laugh. And he did a Louis Tiant impersonation throwing out the first pitch today at Fenway. I don't know if I'm looking forward to the new movie, though. You're a NASCAR fan. So.
Absolutely. It was filmed last year. The parts at Talladega International Raceway were filmed when I was in the stands.
So are you an extra?
Yeah. In fact, my section where I sit is straight up from the start-finish line. And so after they did some fake driver introductions with he and a couple of other guys that were in the movie, they brought the cameras up into our section and filmed our section, and they would hold up signs that said cheer and then boo and then cheer and then boo, and it was great. So we got to be part of the action.
I'm just a little nervous, though, because I think eventually you have an expiration date on your humor. So if he has to keep doing the same stuff all the time, then it's just not going to be as funny. So I don't want that to happen.
See, I'm not a big fan of the kind of humor like Adam Sandler humor or Ben Stiller humor, but for some reason, Will Ferrell is hysterical to me. I loved Anchorman. It was probably one of the funniest movies I've ever seen.
I'm with you on Anchorman. I think it gets better and better every time. I actually get in arguments about people thinking Elf is funnier than Anchorman. I don't see it.
See, I haven't seen Elf. Just a little bit too much suspension
what?
Of belief that is required.
You don't believe that there could be a bunch of real elves out there?
Nope, sorry.
What if, oh boy, I don't know. Hopefully a lot of elves out there listening aren't going to be offended. Our elf ratings will be going down. It's game night on ESPN Radio. She's Amy Lawrence. She doesn't believe in elves. I'm Marcelo.
Elves.
Oh, really? Is that the correct plural pronunciation?
Like roof and roofs, like hoof and hooves.
See, I never thought that
elves.
I don't. When it came to elves or elves, I didn't know that it mattered as much. But thanks for correcting me. I appreciate that. But we did promise that we would get to every single NFL division and talk about which team in each of the divisions have the best and worst off seasons. We're going to start it off in the East, and we're going to start off in the NFC East. So NFC East, AFC East here. This one is tough because I don't really feel like there's a huge gap between the best offseason and the worst offseason among the Giants, the Eagles, the Redskins, and the Cowboys. But I got to go with the Cowboys. And even though I cannot stand Terrell Owens for one season with Parcells and everybody behind it, and maybe T.O. for just a year, willing to calm his act down a little bit as everybody's turning on him, even turning on him more so because of his autobiography, which he's been misquoted in, which is very hard to do. I do think it's the combination of T.O., Fabini on the offensive line. They bring in Mike Vanderjagt. They add some linebacker depth through free agency as well as Bobby Carpenter in the draft, and some more depth in the defensive backfield as well. So I went with Dallas with a slight edge over the other three teams behind them. I didn't feel like there was a huge gap.
I agree with you on Dallas. They brought in Mike Vanderjagt, one of the most accurate kickers in the history of the NFL, whether or not you think he runs his mouth too much. They brought in safety Marcus Coleman from Houston. They re-signed wide receiver Terry Glenn to be the opposite side of one of the biggest free agent acquisitions in this offseason. Maybe you want to put in Dante Culpepper at Miami, Drew Brees, quarterbacks, of course, and so they're big. But I think Terrell Owens is a game changer. No matter what you think of his book, no matter what you think of his mouth, the fact is that Terrell Owens is one of the best wide receivers in the National Football League. He changes the game.
I want to know if you got your popcorn ready.
He is a guy that can single-handedly change the momentum and the flow and the rhythm of a game. He goes out there, he blocks, he plays hard, he doesn't take downs off. So he backs up what he says off the field. He goes out and does it on the field. And I think he's going to be a changed guy with Bill Parcells, with Drew Bledsoe, with some of the other veterans that are in the Dallas Cowboys locker room, because T.O. knows what it's like now to lose his platform, to lose his stage. He got football taken away from him, so without football, he's just a big mouth. He's nothing special.
Me some me.
That's right. without that, he's got no platform. Nobody wants to listen to him if he can't catch a football. So I think T.O. puts Dallas at the top of the list in terms of off-season acquisitions in the NFC East. They did lose their offense coordinator in Sean Payton, who now goes to New Orleans to be the head coach. I think that's a loss because he's creative. He's one of the bright minds in the National Football League. They also lost defensive tackle Leroy Glover. But I do think the T.O. changes everything, and so because of that, far and away in the NFC East, they are my team that made the biggest impact in terms of improving itself in the offseason.
Teams I had behind them, Washington, that I thought was close there, Archuleta in the backfield, Andre Carter, who was a top overall pick out of San Francisco, or for the San Francisco 49ers. On the front line there. They went ahead and were really proactive to get Antoine Randall. I think they paid him way too much money, but that's pretty much par for the course for the Redskins. Brandon Lloyd, but they had a weaker draft because, again, they had traded so many of their picks the last few years, adding some linebacker depth there with Rocky McIntosh. Philadelphia, who some people around the studios today, Amy, felt like maybe they had one of the best off seasons of any team in the NFL. I don't know if I saw it that way. Their draft was really impressive, but they weren't really an active team in free agency. And believe it or not, a lot of Giants fans are going to hate me for saying this one, but of all these teams, and I don't feel like, again, it's a huge difference in the success versus failures of these offseason, but I think they're bringing up the rear in the NFC East. I didn't like the move for LeVar Arrington because it was so much money. And their draft, maybe more luxury items than need items.
I'm evaluating most of the teams as we go through this on the show tonight based on their free agent acquisitions, their re-signings, minus what they lost. I don't think you can really evaluate a draft, or factor that in, I guess, unless you're talking about big names like a Reggie Bush, like a Matt Leinart, like a Mario Williams. Fact is, we don't know what the payoff is on these kids yet.
Oh, then we don't know the same thing about some of the free agents. So.
But they're already established. At some level, they're already established. New city, new uniform, but they've been able to produce at that level. I have no problem saying the Philadelphia Eagles did not do enough to keep up with the Joneses in the NFC East. They added quarterback Jeff Garcia. Whoop-de-doo, which is some irony there because of the fact that now Donovan McNabb and Jeff Garcia, two of the scorned QBs of Terrell Owens, are on the same team. They added a wide receiver in Jabbar Gaffney of Houston. They re-signed their guard, Shawn Andrews. But the fact is, for the same reason that Dallas made the biggest impact with its off-season acquisitions, Philadelphia didn't do enough. They can't replace Terrell Owens. I know Reggie Brown, the wide receiver, was forced into action last year. He had more catches, I believe, than any rookies in the NFL last year. But it was out of necessity, and you still don't have enough experience, enough weapons there for Donovan McNabb, assuming that number 5 comes back healthy and better than ever.
I do like their draft because of Bunkley and then, of course, getting Winston Justice at the tackle position, somebody that slid to the second round because of some of those issues. But you have Philadelphia as your worst. I have the Giants as my worst. Kiwanuka, Sonoris Moss out of the draft. But LeVar Arrington, Sam Madison, two bigger names. Madison may be making more sense because the Giants lost some of their own defensive backfield names. But Arrington was such an exciting player as far as the name to bring him in. But they paid this guy so much money. And, of course, another Redskins linebacker they went after. A lot of these teams actually going after some of each other's players. But I don't know if you see the Giants closer to the top or more towards the bottom in this division?
No, I think they kept up with Dallas. I think the Dallas, the Redskins, and the Giants are all pretty close, but I think LeVar Arrington's a good move. The fact is he's familiar with the other teams in this division, so there's not as much of a learning curve, but I like what he brings to the table. I think he's a hard worker. I think he's tough. I think he's going to be a good addition to that lineup.
It's game night on ESPN Radio. She's Amy Lawrence. I'm Ryan Russillo. We switch it over to the East, into the AFC. And division, some argue that maybe the worst in all of football, but I think the most important thing here is the team that I have as the number one may be the worst team in this division. I think the Jets may have had the best offseason of any team in the AFC East, but to me, they're already a last-place team. Some of that has to do with their free agent signings, Andre Dyson, Kimo von Oelhoffen, that they were able to bring in, but their draft was great. I mean, DeBrickashaw, Ferguson, Nick Mangold, and now Clemens, the quarterback out of Oregon. You have a group there with your offensive line and a future quarterback that you may be protecting. And some people like Clemens as much as anybody they have on the roster, the quarterback position right now. And it also starts at the top with a new front office and Eric Mangini as the head coach. I think the Jets had the best offseason in the division.
I'm going to disagree with you there, Ryan. I'm going to go with Miami. They added a former National League MVP. Dante Culpepper at quarterback. Now, granted, he has had some injuries, but from all accounts,
that's one.
From all accounts, though, he is on track. In fact, ahead of schedule to be the starting quarterback for the Dolphins this coming season. I like that they added the cornerback Will Allen out of New York. I also like the fact that they went out and got a backup quarterback in Joey Harrington. Now, granted, he wasn't great in Detroit, but the fact is he's a veteran. So wouldn't you rather add a veteran as a backup if you have to go to your second string than to add a rookie? Matt Leinart, sure, he's a tremendous rookie. We're expecting a lot. Same thing with guys like Vince Young and maybe a Jay Cutler. But at least Joey Harrington has had some time in the NFL to absorb the system at the next level. They did lose Ricky Williams, but in my mind, that's a plus. I'm not so sure Ricky Williams is worth what he brings to the table. And they also re-signed guys like their center, Seth McKinney, and running back Travis Minor. I think that the Miami Dolphins did more than their share of heavy lifting in the offseason.
And they had a draft that they added some depth to there as well. But the team I have coming after them, I had Miami right after New Jersey. I actually have Buffalo 3, even though I thought their draft was, as everyone had sort of criticized, a reach with a bunch of guys. But I have the Patriots, which I still think is the best team in the division, having maybe the most unproductive offseason and not really bringing in one big free agent name, although that could change if they do sign Ty Law in the next week or so.
Believe it or not, I'm going to have to go with the New England Patriots. They had a kicker in Martin Gramatica because they lost their all-pro kicker Adam Vinatieri, as well as defensive end Willie McGinnis. They had a safety into Bucky Jones, but pretty much the buzz around the Patriots is, how come you haven't done more in the offseason?
Rashae Caldwell, receiver, could be the number 2 receiver if Chad Jackson, the rookie out of Florida, doesn't beat him out for it. Eric Warfield in the backfield as well, a position they've constantly tried to add depth to and have been able to keep any of those guys healthy. And the draft, offensive, just exciting players there in the top 4 picks, but who knows with the rookies. More next hour. It's bad enough, though. You lost just 3 of 4. It's even worse when you're losing to the Royals, but now another starting pitcher goes down. We'll tell you what team we're talking about. That's next on Game Night on ESPN Radio.
Welcome to Man Tips. Tips for men from men. Today's Man Tip, something dear to every man's heart, his gas tank. So enter the Autolite Free Gas for a Year contest. 5 entrants will win up to 1,000 gallons of gas each. Our other Man Tip, tasteful artwork. Put some tasteful artwork on your wall, and the ladies will think you're one classy fella. This has been Man Tip, sponsored by Autolite. It's time to change your plugs. Contest ends 10/31/06. 18 years or older to enter. Go to Autolite.com or participating retail for full official rules. Void where prohibited.
Which is smoother, Keystone Light Beer or Dr. Zach's bedside manner?
Peter.
Yeah, Doc.
Hey, hate to tell you this, but Peter, you only have 3 months.
What?
I know. I'm so sorry.
But how? I came here to get a wart removed.
Peter, these x-rays here show the growth on your... Oh, wait. This is Pat Cameron's chart. Guess I got some bad news for him.
Keystone Light, the beer that's always smooth, even when you're not. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
From your 24-hour news source, KCRG TV9, here are the latest news headlines in the zone.
This is KCRG TV9 Scott Sanborn. Police say 2 juveniles caused more than $10,000 damage at a Cedar Falls school. Officers were called to the newly constructed Lincoln School late Saturday night. Officers found running faucets which flooded the top floor. A 9-year-old and an 11-year-old are charged in the incident. The University of Iowa may have its largest freshman class ever. A number of other colleges in the state have also reported more student applications. Officials believe the increase is a result of students applying to more colleges. And another change is in the works today for Czech Village in Cedar Rapids. The building best known as Bulacek's Bar in the 80s will be demolished starting today. The Czech and Slovak Museum will use this site for future expansion. Get KCRG TV9 local news updates right after Sports Center at the top of the hour, here in the zone. ESPN Radio, 1600 AM.
West Texas A&M QB coach, Ryan Leaf, with Dan Patrick.
How does it feel when you're a punchline?
I kind of use a line from a song. I think the world of myself. The world just doesn't think much of me. And I go places. A lot of people respect me still for what I've done in college and made it to that level. But, you know, I didn't succeed in the NFL. You know, that's something I'm going to have to live with the rest of my life.
Biggest regret?
Biggest regret? Yelling at that reporter. Biggest regret of my life. I feel that was the reason my career went downhill, because by the time I realized how to deal with the media and understand that, you know, they can be there to help you, it was too late. I hurt my wrist. I couldn't compete at the level that I could. And that's probably my biggest regret. there's nothing I could go back to do to fix that. Every April comes up, they don't want to have another Ryan Leaf drafted. And, that's just the way it's going to be.
The Dan Patrick Show, weekdays on ESPN Radio.
The Zone. We are your local sports authority.
Yeah.
Coming up, the local sports lowdown here in The Zone.
On KCRG TV9, Scott Sable, the Kernels with a pitching gem Sunday against Southwest Michigan. Kernels starter Moose Mosbach pitched 8 innings of shutout baseball, giving up just 4 hits and striking out 7. And CR scored 4 times in the 5th inning. 3 runs came on a Marco Albano bases-clearing double. And that was plenty. Kernels shut out Southwest Michigan 4-0 to raise their record to 14-10 in the second half of the season. Cedar Rapids golfer Zach Johnson fired a final round 200 par 69 at the John Deere Classic Sunday to finish the tournament 9 under par, tied for 33rd place and good for $21,000. Oskaloosa native Jerry Smith shot an even par 71 Sunday and finished 6th under for the tournament. Australian John Senden hit a pressure bunker shot on 18 to within inches to get up and down for par and win the John Deere Classic by 1 shot over J.P. Hayes. It was Senden's first PGA Tour win, and he automatically qualifies for this week's British Open. Zach Johnson will also play in the British Open. The University of Iowa announced that Kelly Crawford has been named the head coach of the women's golf team. Crawford replaces Bobby Carney, who announced her retirement in May. Crawford spent the past 6 years as head coach at Cal Irvine, guiding the Anteaters to 3 Big West Conference titles and 3 NCAA tournament appearances. Have yourself a whale of a day, everybody.
Now you're in the zone. ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, KCRG, Cedar Rapids.
ESPN Radio Sports Center.
I'm Scott Stan. The Angels kept the right Weaver. Jared has sparkled in his rookie season. Older brother Jeff struggled, going 3-10, a 6 ERA. They cut him loose. St. Louis picked him up. And Weaver made his Cardinals debut tonight against the Red Hot Braves. Didn't last long. They're in the 6th inning now. Atlanta leads 10-1. The big hit, a Brian McCann grand slam. Wilson Peterman also has homered and driven in 3 runs, and Atlanta headed for a 6th straight win. Florida leads Washington 4-2. They're in the 8th inning. Colorado and Pittsburgh still tied 1-1 now in the 7th as the Rockies try to end a 7-game losing streak. Later this hour, the Dodgers, who lost 4 in a row, will get going in Arizona. American League, Yankees could be headed to first place. They lead Seattle 4-2 in the 7th inning. Jason Giambi, a home run, is 28th. Red Sox yet to score off Kansas City's Luke Hudson now in the 7th inning. It is 4-0 Royals. If these scores hold, the Yanks move into first by a half game, and Toronto would move closer. The Blue Jays lead Texas 10-1 in the 6th inning. They broke that open with a 9-run 4th inning. Vernon Wells had a grand slam. Baltimore leads, and Oakland are now 3-3. They're in the 6th at Camden Yards. Tampa Bay got a 2-run homer from Greg Norton and leads 2-0 at Minnesota. That's in the 3rd. Braves ace John Smoltz, the subject of trade rumors when it looks as if Atlanta was out of it, now publicly asking the Braves to make trades to help the team. We're 2 weeks from the so-called deadline. Phillies outfielder Bobby Abreu mentioned prominently in rumors, but due to make $15 million in 2007. Jerry Krasnick, ESPN.com, has learned if Abreu agrees to waive his no-trade clause, he's going to want even more money. Another name mentioned often, Alfonso Soriano in Washington. Jason Stark reporting Seattle, the latest team interested. Nationals want 2 prospects in return, said to be eyeing 20-year-old outfielder Adam Jones. 3 weeks after suffering a brain aneurysm, ESPN's Hall of Fame baseball reporter Peter Gammons out of the hospital, headed for a rehab center. His wife says doctors are pleased with his progress. Barbaro's still in stable condition, but still with laminitis, the potentially life-threatening condition in his left rear hook.
Sports Center, every 20 minutes. ESPN Radio.
Coming up, your KCRG TV9 First Alert Storm Team Forecast.
I'm meteorologist Danny Ferrari. A scattered thunderstorm, still a possibility, otherwise very muggy overnight. A low between 63 and 69. Partly cloudy with an isolated storm, a potential on Tuesday. A high 82 to 88, winds out of the east. And partly cloudy, maybe an isolated storm for Tuesday night, a low 64 to 70. Tomorrow's forecast, twice an hour from the TV9 First Alert Storm Team here in the Zone, ESPN Radio.
Sound off! want to hear what you think. Click on the Sound Off section of thezone1600.com and get in the zone. ESPN Radio.
All of a sudden, the Boston Red Sox aren't so dominant at friendly Fenway. And don't look now, here come the Yankees and the Blue Jays. The first NFL training camp opens in 3 days. Which teams in the northern half of the United States made the best moves this spring and summer? We pull on the pads and go full contact on game night right now.
The most trusted analyst.
Chris Woods is the Boyd Report.
The big names after the big game.
JJ Redick, Tony Stewart, Reggie Bush, Nicky Barber, Bill Friend. Every side of the story.
That's what I have to realize something.
We'll get into that next week. What pops in your mind?
And more than just the score.
I've never had a book job. Just not that right.
Live from the center of the sports universe, this is Game Night
on ESPN Radio.
He's Ryan Russillo. I'm Amy Lawrence. Coming up in 20 minutes, we head to the Windy City, where you've got the tale of two teams, the Chicago White Sox and the Chicago Cubs. One, defending World Series champs, looking to be buyers and improve their odds of catching the Detroit Tigers. The other, in a free fall, they give up 2 grand slams in 1 inning and a huge comeback by the New York Mets last night, and the Cubbies may have hit rock bottom. They, consequently, are not sellers. They're not buyers. They're more like sellers. So we will go to the Windy City and find out what happens with these two teams in Chicago before the non-waiver trading deadline coming up at the end of the month. It's Ryan Russillo, Amy Lawrence, Game Night here on ESPN Radio, presented by Keystone Light. As you look around the Major League Baseball parks tonight, you can tell that things are shifting. All you got to do is look at the American League East for one huge example, Ryan. The Boston Red Sox just lost 3 of 4 games to Oakland at home. They lost 10 games the entire first half of the season at home. Now they've lost 3 since resuming following the All-Star break, and they're trailing the Kansas City Royals 4-0. But that's not even the worst news, as you heard John Stashower say in SportsCenter at the top of the hour. Starting pitcher Tim Wakefield left the game after 4 innings with a strained upper back. He's listed as day-to-day. Now, we know he had an MRI. He had some work done over the All-Star break to try to get him ready, but he is having some real back problems. Wasn't able to even get through 5-6 innings, and now they're going deep into their bullpen. And this is a problem for the Red Sox because it seems as though their starting rotation's getting thinner and thinner and thinner. It's like Kurt Schilling and Josh Becker are the only 2 guys out there that are going to go out every 5 days.
And Wakefield's been great this season. 7-8 record, but don't be misled. He's not gotten a lot of run support this season and done a really good job with his ERA and giving the Red Sox a chance to win every time he's out there and pitched. And this back thing has kind of surfaced, at least publicly, the last month or so, and they wanted to actually push him back, and they did. He was going to pitch yesterday. They moved him to today. And you realize that it's very serious because not only does he leave the game after 4 innings today, they moved John Lester up to actually pitch right after the All-Star break when initially they had planned to give him about a week and a half of rest, feeling like he was going to be pitching much later in the season, many more innings, of course, pressure pitches than at any point in his career, and then they can't even stay with that plan, and they have to use Lester again, which I'm sure they didn't want to do, just to be able to get by using Wakefield too much and trying to give him some extra rest. But if he's not a part of this rotation, or if this is a long-term thing, as you said, a shrinking rotation, Amy, it's a rotation that doesn't really have a number 5 starter. Mm-hmm. And even though Lester is undefeated, anybody that's watched him pitch, he can't continue to get away and expect to win games pitching the way that he does with so many base runners on. And like any team out there, they all need starting pitching, but a team like the Red Sox that is sort of felt like they at least have the guns to be able to maintain over the course of the schedule that they'll be all right. But losing somebody like Wakefield is 200 innings a year. That's a huge blow.
Well, and the problem is there are so many young arms in this bullpen. They've got so many guys that they're breaking into their bullpen this year with Manny Del Carmen, Craig Hansen, and don't forget Jonathan Papelbon. Now, granted, he has been lights out, was certainly deserving of the All-Star berth, but he's still a young guy. He still needs to be protected from overworking that arm. You don't want to blow this guy out so that he's not effective in September and October, the first time that he's going through a season like this. So they need to protect their guys in their bullpen. That means more work for Julian Tavares and Rudy Cianez, even a guy like a Lopez, Javi Lopez. But the fact is, they're not top-of-the-line relievers. Now, Lopez has been pretty good, but Cianez and Tavares have spelled doom at times during the season.
And any Red Sox fan
You're listening to The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids.
We now leave our network programming to bring you the following special sports presentation.
Good evening from Veterans Memorial Stadium. We're almost set for baseball. We first joined you at our appointed South Slope Communications Triple Play show time at 6:40, and we had a visit with the Colonel Strength and Conditioning Coach Andrew Emick and the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim Strength and Conditioning Coordinator in the minor leagues, T.J. Harrington, and we told you a little bit after 7 o'clock that we would be rejoining you for Colonel Baseball following a storm that really took eastern Iowa by storm. Around 6:15, the skies darkened, the wind really became strong, and a very short thunder shower of about 45 seconds doused the diamond here. The tarp was on, and thanks to that and some great work by the award-winning, Midwest League award-winning Colonel Crack Grounds crew, we're ready for baseball. We gave you the starting lineups a little bit after 7 o'clock. Let's review them before the Colonels take the field to take on the Southwest Michigan Devil Rays in the third game of this four-game series. Leading off for Southwest Michigan is Jackson Brennan in center field. Neil Walton will bat second and play shortstop. At third base, Cesar Suarez, he'll hit third for Southwest Michigan. The Devil Ray cleanup batter leads them in RBIs with 47. J.T. Hall, he's in right field. Batting fifth will be Rhyne Hughes, and Hughes will play first base for the visiting Southwest Michigan Ball Club. Hitting sixth and catching for the Devil Rays is Christian Lopez. Chris Cunningham's in left field, batting seventh. Hitting eighth, the DH Matt Devins, and at second base, Hunter Vick, batting ninth. On the hill for Southwest Michigan is a native of America's Dairyland, the Cheese State. Sixth-round pick by Tampa Bay last year out of Wisconsin Whitewater, Greg Reinhard, R-E-I-N-H-A-R-D. Reinhard making his 18th start. He's 3-6 with a 5.45 or a 5.24 ERA. Greg Reinhard is a right-hander, 22 years old. Let's review the Allen Motor Company Colonel starting lineup for you as the Colonels are being introduced individually as they come out of their first base dugout. Remember, during Allen's 103rd birthday bash sale, that value and selection reigns supreme at Allen Motor Company. Allen's is open late until 9 o'clock tonight, I-380 Boyson Road, exit 25 in Hiawatha. Leading off in center field, Madison Edwards. It's the first time he's hit leadoff this season. Batting second is the left-handed hitting Colonel second baseman Larry Infante. Colonel All-Star switch-hitting shortstop Heinle Stacia will hit third. The Colonel cleanup batter is Mark Trumbo at first base. Batting fifth and playing the hot corner Dallas Morris, Brett Martinez will catch and hit sixth. Batting seventh, Midwest League All-Star, struggling 2 for his last 29. Jordan Renz in right field. Renz leads the Colonels in home runs and RBIs. Flint Whipke will bat eighth this evening and serve as the DH. And batting ninth, he broke a scoreless tie with the bases loaded. 3-run double with 2 out in the fifth yesterday in the Colonel 4-0 win, Marco Albano. On the hill, he's been sensational his last 6 starts, 4-0. Is Tommy Mendoza, 18-year-old Colonel right-hander Tommy Mendoza, 7-5. He has his ERA below 4 at 3.98. Now let's honor America. We have a special guest from Tama, Toledo. They're our featured community this evening. Lexi Hegarty will sing the Star-Spangled Banner.
Please join in the singing of our national anthem. It is being performed this evening by Lexi Hegarty from Tama, Toledo.
For the
can hear from the crowd's reaction that the delay of an hour and 15 minutes hasn't affected their enthusiasm. Lexi Higgerty from Tama, Toledo, singing like a songbird, a beautiful rendition of the Star-Spangled Banner. The Cost Cutters Dream Team members are dashing off the diamond, headed toward Colonel Assistant Sonia Massey outside the first baseline. Anderson and Brown Eye Care sponsors our umpires. Anderson and Brown Eye Care is the official eye care provider of the Kernels. Dr. Tom Anderson, Dr. Todd Brown, their new location, conveniently and easy in, easy out, I-380 Boyson Road, exit 25 in Hiawatha. Anderson and Brown Eye Care is your full-service comprehensive eye care center. That means Dr. Anderson and Dr. Brown will examine your eyes, and then you can pick out your glasses and contact lenses right on site. Things are coming into focus at Anderson and Brown Eye Care. And our umpires, Corey Hinga, a 6'6" arbiter, is behind home plate, and his partner on the diamond, Jason Alper. Hinga and Alper are Anderson and Brown Eye Care umpiring crew. We again want to extend a hearty welcome to our listeners, to the listeners that are picking up our feed here from the City of Five Seasons in Cereal City, USA, Battle Creek, Michigan. A fine young announcer, the play-by-play voice of the Devil Rays, a very good friend of mine, Mike Wagenheim, has a very, very bad throat. He can barely talk, and it was a real honor, pleasure, and we were flattered when Mike Wagenheim asked if he could feed his listeners our broadcast. Game 3 with the Devil Rays, the series tied at a game apiece. Southwest Michigan trounced us 9-3 Saturday night. We bounced back in searing heat yesterday and blanked Southwest Michigan 4-0. The game's first pitch is up and in from Tommy Mendoza, ball one, to right-handed hitting Jackson Brennan. We're underway at 8:15. The temperature has dropped 25 degrees in the last 2 hours. It's 77 degrees as Tommy misses high and outside. Ball two to Jackson Brennan. Brennan's a right-handed batter. He's hitting .279, a homer, 12 RBIs, and he stands straight away at the plate. The Colonel right-hander delivers. Strike one called, a letter-high fastball to Jackson Brennan out of Gonzaga University. Division I basketball, men's Division I basketball has made them a household name. And Brennan pops the 2-1 pitch foul beyond the middle mezzanine terrace above the Colonel first base dugout. That's where folks from Bankers Trust and Cisco are enjoying the action tonight. The lights are on here at the ballpark, and the temperature is comfortable, 77 degrees. The 2-2 is bounced foul off the railing of the Colonel first base dugout. Jackson Brennan was 1 for 3 yesterday. A one-out double in the 8th inning. It was Southwest Michigan's first hit in the game yesterday since the 2nd inning off of Colonel starter and winner, Moose Mosbach. Tommy Mendoza's 2-2 offering. Curve, strike 3 called! Jackson Brennan is called out on a Mendoza Uncle Charlie. Strike 3 to Jackson Brennan, and there's one away here in the Southwest Michigan first inning. Tommy Mendoza wearing his white home Colonel uniform with a navy blue cap and a red bill. The Colonel's wearing red socks. Tommy's the only Colonel that's wearing his socks up high. And a swing and a foul straight back by Neil Walton. Walton is a 177 hitter. He has a prototypical shortstop body, 6'5", 185. Neil has a homer, 18 RBIs. And he checks his swing on a fastball downstairs, according to Corey Hinga, the plate umpire, ball one. Neil Walton was 0 for 2 yesterday before the Devil Rays lifted him for a pinch hitter in the 8th inning. He has a healthy cut and fouls one straight back. It's 1-2 now to Neil Walton. The Colonel outfield this evening has Marco Albano in left, Madison Edwards in center, and the right fielder is all-star Jordan Renz. 1 ball, 2 strikes as the Colonel 18-year-old right-hander brings it. And a hard shot foul. That one almost picked off the Southwest Michigan first base coach. Neil Walton is out of Cal State Fullerton, a Southwest Michigan 22-year-old shortstop. Tampa Bay drafted him in the 16th round last year out of Cal State Fullerton, and he hit 200 with Hudson Valley in the New York Penn League in his rookie year of baseball. That was last summer with Hudson Valley. Walton drills one to first on one hop. Mark Trumbo has it. Waves off the pitcher, Tommy Mendoza, and makes the play himself. Mark Trumbo was playing a good 15 feet behind the bag, and he stabbed that one hop scalding bullet and had plenty of time to make the unassisted put out. And there are two gone here in the Devil Ray first inning. Southwest Michigan wore black knit tops yesterday in the hot weather. This evening they're in their traditional gray road uniforms with green lettering that spells Devil Rays across the front, and then they wear very dark green helmets. Ball one is inside to Cesar Suarez, right-handed batter out of Venezuela. And he grounds one to deep short, backhanded by Stacia. Long throw is in time. Finally, Stacia went deep in the hole on the hard-hit ground ball by Suarez and threw Cesar out. In the first inning, the Devil Rays go 1-2-3, nothing across. And after one half inning, Southwest Michigan nothing, the Kernels coming to bat. This is Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one. Do your scissors take Giuseppe Valentini? You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared in Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Oh, come to Zio Giano's, our pasta makes you Zio. Come to Zio Giano's for real Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? Hey, my hair is my trademark. I gotta be able to count on a good cut and stuff to keep my hair looking thick, even if it's not.
I get a good cut, no long wait, a smile, and a little something left over in my wallet.
I get little trims that keep my hair long and healthy, and stuff to make it loose and curly one day, straight and sassy the next.
With expert stylists trained in the latest trends and techniques and your favorite professional styling and hair care products, you'll always get what you're looking for at Cost Cutters. At Cost Cutters, you can always count on convenient, affordable, professional care and products that help you create just the style you want. At Cost Cutters, you'll always get a little more.
What do I get at Cost Cutters? A slick, clean cut, great highlights, and a little wig from the hottest stylist I've ever seen.
From Division III powerhouse Wisconsin Whitewater, Greg Reinhard, R-E-I-N-H-A-R-D, is on the hill for the visiting Devil Rays, who the Colonel starter, Tommy Mendoza, set down in order in the top of the first inning. For the first time this season, Madison Edwards is batting leadoff in the Allen Motor Company Colonel starting lineup. Madison was 1 for 2 in the Colonel win yesterday. He reached on an error and scored in the Colonel 4-run fifth inning. Left-handed batter, and Reinhardt's first pitch is in for a strike call to Madison Edwards. Madison is hitting 131, no homers, 2 RBIs. Edwards, signed by the Angels out of Texas Tech, and he takes strike 2 at the knees. And now the third baseman who was playing even with the base, Cesar Suarez, takes a couple of steps back. He's 18 feet off the third base line. Ball one is upstairs to the left-handed hitting Colonel leadoff batter, Madison Edwards. Colonels wearing their bright red batting helmets with red numbers on the back of their white home jerseys. Madison Edwards serves one foul off to the left. It has turned out to be a wonderful evening for baseball. Just great after the hour and 15-minute delay due to a storm front that passed through eastern Iowa. Edwards swings late and misses. Madison Edwards fans, and there's one out here in the Colonel first inning. This is the 7th meeting between the Colonels and Devil Rays, and each team has won 3. We've outscored Southwest Michigan in 6 games, 30-24, but they've out-hit us 48-44. So just another wacky twist in the statistical numbers that can baffle anybody in baseball. We've outscored them 30-24. They've out-hit us in 6 games, 48-44. Larry Infante stands in a fastball from the 6'2" right-hander is up and away to Larry. Left-handed hitter and a swing and a miss. Greg Reinhard has won 3 and lost 6. In 91 innings, he's allowed 98 hits. Struck out 80 in 91 innings and walked 40. He misses downstairs with a changeup, ball 2 to Infante. Larry's hitting .227. 3 homers, 24 RBIs. Slightly open stance, does not wear batting gloves, and a swing and a miss. Strike 2. Infante backs out of the box. Larry didn't play yesterday. He was 0 for 4 in the Southwest Michigan 9-3 win here Saturday night. Reinhardt's fastball rides high and away, and it's 2-2 to Larry. The center fielder, Jackson Brennan, is playing Larry Infante to hit the other way. No score. We're in the bottom of the first inning. Ball 3 just outside, a fastball. Larry Infante has run the count full. The double ray... Wait a minute. We lost count of the track, apparently. We lost track of the count, apparently. Ball 4 to Larry Infante. Apparently, we lost track of the count. And Larry Infante took what I thought was a 2-2 pitch outside. He took what was a payoff pitch outside, and he walks. That brings in the hottest Kernel hitter, Heinle Stacia. Heinle batting .302, switch-hitting Kernel shortstop from Curaçao, Netherlands. That's just off the coast of Venezuela. Strike 1 to Heinle Stacia. Heinle leads the Kernels with 25 doubles. Heinle is a lean, trim, 20-year-old switch hitter, batting left, with a homer and 28 RBIs. And the next delivery is low to Heinle Stacia. Heinle was our guest recently on Brooks at Bat. Legendary Hall of Fame sportscaster Bob Brooks interviewed Heinle earlier on this homestand about growing up in Curaçao. There's a pitch out and nothing doing. Larry Infante with 5 steals and 8 tries. Not going. He returns to first. It's 2-1 to Stacia. Heinle told Bob and I that he was required to study the history of slavery in Curaçao. It was a major, major market for slave trade. The 2-1. The runner goes, and a base hit into left center. Heinle Stacia, a base hit into left center. Larry Infante is racing to third. He gets there without a play as the left fielder, Chris Cunningham, gets it back in. Oh, Heinle Stacia with shortstop Neil Walton vacating his shortstop position to cover second as Larry Infante was running, served it right in the spot that Neil Walton vacated to cover second. Boy, what a perfectly executed hit-and-run single by Heinle Stacia, sending Larry Infante to third, and the Kernels have runners at the corners with only 1 out, and Mark Trumbo at the plate. Mark is a slugging right-handed batter with a .222 average, 11 home runs, and 41 RBIs for Trumbo. Mark will try to give the Kernels the lead here in the first inning. A strike in from the Devil Ray righty Greg Reinhard. Mark Trumbo 1 for 1 yesterday, walked his first 2 times up. It's Infante at third, Stacia at first, bottom of the first inning, no score. From the stretch, Reinhard delivers a fastball low, and it's 1-1. Boy, the folks from First Federal Credit Union have come out in big numbers on the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion. Mark Trumbo with runners at the corners. Fouls one off the end of the bat, straight over the backstop. For our listeners in Southwest Michigan in Battle Creek, we can tell you that Veterans Memorial Stadium was built 5 years ago, a $16 million project, and without being boastful or braggadocious, it has received rave reviews from all that visit here. And we'll continue painting the picture. There goes the runner, Stacia. Swing and a miss by Trumbo, and Heinle steals second without a play. Mark Trumbo fans. That's a big, big second out of the inning, as Mark was unable to put the bat on the ball. Heinle Stacia stole second. The catcher, Christian Lopez, looked to third in case Larry Infante had any ideas of trying to break homeward on the Stacia steal of second. And now, after Trumbo's swing and a miss, it'll be up to Dallas Morris to pick up Mark Trumbo and drive in the game's first run or two. Dallas Morris hitting .229, right-handed batter out of Louisiana Lafayette. And ball 1 just misses low, according to the plate umpire. Dallas was 1 for 4 in the Colonel shutout win yesterday, a 2-out run-scoring single that capped the Colonel 4-run 5th inning. Second and third, 2 away. Ground ball fair down the left field line. 2 runs will score. Infante scores. Here comes Stacia to make it 2-0 on a ground ball double, smacked sharply past third by Dallas Morris. And the Colonels lead it here in the bottom of the first inning, 2-0. Dallas Morris's 2-out, 2-run double, a perfect illustration of why the Colonels are playing winning baseball, 14-10 in the second half. They're picking each other up. Mark Trumbo was unable to drive in a run with a runner at third and less than 2 out. So Dallas Morris, with runners at second and third, after Trumbo struck out, grounds a double past third down the left field line. Strike one is in, or ball one is low to Brett Martinez with Morris at second. Greg Reinhardt's fastball is a strike at the knees. 1-1 to Brett Martinez. Jeff Johnson, the outstanding Gazette sports writer who covers the Colonels, did a beautiful expose on Brett Martinez in this morning's Gazette. Ground ball to second, hit sharply, bobbled by Hunter Vick. He recovers in time to throw out Brett Martinez. Brett Martinez slapped one on the ground hard that Hunter Vick knocked down, picked up, and threw out Martinez. 2 runs for the Colonels in the bottom of the first inning on 2 hits, a walk. There were no double-ray errors, and the Colonels strand 1 man aboard. And after 1 inning, here in the City of 5 Seasons, Colonels 2, Southwest Michigan nothing.
Remember just a few years back when experts predicted that the wonders of the computer, internet, and email would result in a paperless society? Well, if your household or office is anything like mine, you're probably wondering when that paperless society is coming. Amazing but true, nearly 40% of all paper ends up in the wrong place, our landfills. So the next time you catch yourself about to throw paper away in your garbage, pause for just a second, and instead put it in your blue recycling box. A paperless society? Not yet. But a smarter society? Yes, when we choose reuse by recycling.
Peck's Flower and Garden Shop reminds you that summer is the best time to enjoy fresh, colorful flowers and blooming plants. And Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center has the finest quality, fresh, colorful flowers and blooming plants for indoor or outdoor. Plus, Peck's will provide you with all the free expert advice you'll need to make your flowers and plants grow their very best. Stop in often this summer to Peck's for fresh, colorful flowers and blooming plants. Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center, they're open until 8 o'clock on weeknights and until 5 on weekends, and they've been serving Eastern Iowa for a remarkable 50 years. Peck's Flower Shop, Garden Center, Nursery and Landscaping, they're located at the corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Road, Northeast. J.T. Hall, the leading home run hitter and RBI man for the Devil Rays, will lead off here in the top of the second inning for Southwest Michigan. If you're just joining us, the game was delayed for an hour and 15 minutes due to a thunderstorm and threatening skies that descended upon our area right around 6:30. Strike one to the left-handed hitting J.T. Hall from Tommy Mendoza, who's been staked to a 2-0 lead. Blistering fastball, 91 miles an hour, according to the Bank Iowa Speed Pitch Indicator, just above the University of Iowa sign in right center field. And that's strike 2 to J.T. Hall. Now a fastball whizzes underneath the chin of the left-handed batter. Hall's from Southwest Mississippi Junior College, and he was 0 for 1. He struck out pinch hitting with runners at first and third and 2 out in the 8th inning yesterday. Mendoza misses outside with a fastball. To J.T. Hall, he's batting .285, has socked 7 homers and driven in 47. He also leads Southwest Michigan with 21 doubles. And he's hit by a pitch, a glancing blow on the upper bicep, the front bicep of J.T. Hall, and that hit batsman only the 6th of the season by Colonel right-hander Tommy Mendoza.
First baseman, Rhyne Hughes.
Tommy Mendoza, for an 18-year-old, has pitched 122 innings this season. and he is second only to his teammate who won here yesterday, Moose Mosbach, in innings pitched in the Midwest League. Rhyne Hughes, a left-handed batter, takes up and away, ball one. Hughes is batting .238. Left-handed hitter, has virtually no bend in his knees. Ryan uses a black lacquer bat, and Hughes is out of Pearl River Community College down in Mississippi. I mean, this fella stands straight up at the plate, straight as a board, and takes strike one on the outside corner. 2-0 Kernels. We're in the top of the second inning. Here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, there were 20 rows of red seats. The first 8 rows are known as premier seats, and then the next 12 rows are known as club seats. Down the right field line is the Papa John's Plaza, an aluminum back bleacher section that holds 500 or more. And then a grass slope seating berm parallels the left field line. Those are our least expensive seats here at the ballpark. We're welcoming listeners who are tuned in Battle Creek, Michigan this evening. Hughes lines one into left. It's sinking, and it falls in front of Marco Albano. And stopping at second is J.T. Hall, a hit batsman, and a poke off the end of the stick, a humpback liner by the left-handed batter Hughes, fell in front of Marco Albano. And the Devil Rays have the tying runs at first and second with nobody out here in the second inning. Let's see if Southwest Michigan skipper Cedar Barnes has Christian Lopez bunting. My guess is that Lopez will be bunting here in the second inning. Christian didn't play yesterday. He's a 21-year-old Devil Rays 6th-round pick back in 2003. And he's from Miami, Florida, so perhaps Nelson Mendoza. Here's a bunt, and Tommy will field it. Throws to third. Out! What a play by Tommy Mendoza. A gutty play by the 18-year-old Colonel right-hander. The bunt by Lopez went halfway to the mound, and Tommy raced in, picked it up with his glove hand, whirled, and then threw a strike as hard as he'd throw a pitch to Dallas Morris. And J.T. Hall, sliding in feet first, was out. It went 1-5. Christian Lopez reaches on a fielder's choice. He fails in his sacrifice attempt. Now here's Chris Cunningham. I was about to say that Tommy Mendoza's parents... Double play, Bautista. Heinle has it. Underhand to Infante. Larry to first. Double play! Chris Cunningham hit a sharp three-hopper to the all-star Colonel shortstop, Heinle Stacia. Heinle gloved it, underhanded to Larry Infante for the force of Christian Lopez, then on to first to complete the twin killing. No runs for Southwest Michigan in the second inning. They put their first 2 men on, a hit batsman and a base hit. There were no Colonel errors. A double play ends the inning, and the Devil Rays leave 1 man aboard. Let me finish my thought. I was about to say that Tommy Mendoza's parents, Nelson Mendoza and Angelino's Cookie Mendoza, may know Christian Lopez because Nelson Mendoza stays on top of all the prep baseball action down in that Miami area, so they may be familiar with Christian Lopez. After an inning and a half, the Colonels on top of the Devil Rays, 2-0.
Pepsi Smash.
Hey, it's Mariah Carey. So you know that feeling you get when you meet someone new and like you got those butterflies every time when you call? Well, here's a ringtone that I created just for that moment. And you can only get it at PepsiSmash.com. Then there's the flip side. The guy you chose to give the heave-ho 2 years ago, but he still keeps calling. Well, here's your signal not to pick up the phone. Nice, huh? There's only one place you can get these, PepsiSmash.com.
Pepsi gives you the chance to get original, exclusive ringtones created by your favorite artists like Mariah Carey. Look under specially marked Pepsi caps and log on to PepsiSmash.com for information. 1 in 3 gets a ringtone. Also enter for a chance to win the newest Motorola cell phones. A winner every 10 minutes. No purchase necessary. Promotion subject to official rules at PepsiSmash.com. Internet access required. You must be 13 or older to play. Promotion ends 8606. Ringtones must be downloaded by 8/20/06. Void where prohibited.
Imagine the convenience of accomplishing your next real estate transaction under one roof. Buying a home, selling a home, or securing the right mortgage loan are simple and worry-free at Todd Financial Services. Todd Financial Services knows that you've worked hard to be able to make the dream of home ownership a reality. Todd Financial Services understands that people do business with people they trust. You can count on Todd Financial Services to put you and your needs first so that your real estate transactions are pleasurable.
Jordan Renz leading off the Kernels second, fights off a good pitch right in on his fists and is strong enough to dump it in front of the center fielder, Jackson Brennan. Jordan Renz, who's in a tailspin, may be starting to come out of it. Jordan was 0 for 3 yesterday, 2 for his last 29, and he fought off a very good pitch right in on his hands and was strong enough to loop a single into center, and the Kernels have their third hit of the night against right-hander Greg Reinhardt. We understand from the voice of the Devil Rays, Mike Wagenheim, that indeed not only did Tommy Mendoza know Christian Lopez, but he faced him in high school. Christian Lopez, the fellow that was unable to successfully sacrifice in that top of the second inning. Here's a ground ball to deep short, backhanded by Walton. Throw to second, out, and Flint Whipke beats the throw from the second baseman, Hunter Vick. A sparkling play by Neil Walton, the shortstop. He took a hit away from Flint Whipke going deep in the hole and backhanding Flint's first pitch swinging grounder, and Jordan Renz was forced 6-4 at second as Flint Whipke reaches on the fielder's choice. Now the number 9 hitter, Marco Albano, steps in. Marco broke a scoreless tie yesterday with a 2-out, bases loaded, 3-run double into right center against his collegiate friend and teammate at Boston College, Mike Wodarczyk. And a ball low, a changeup from Greg Reinhardt. The lights are on here at Veterans Memorial Stadium. The temperature has dropped 25 degrees since late this afternoon. The runner goes, a swing and a miss, the throw to second, and Flint Whipke is tagged out by the shortstop. Neil Walton the second baseman, Hunter Vick, took the one-hop peg from Christian Lopez, and Flint Whipke was a goner. Flint's now 10 for 19 in stolen base attempts. The caught stealing went 2-4. It was a hit and run, and Marco Albano swung and missed at a low fastball, and now a breaking pitch down and away. 2 out, nobody on, bottom of the second, and the Kernels are on top 2-0. Marco Albano, a right-handed batter, an Angel 33rd round pick last year out of Boston College, smacks one into center field for a 2-out single. A one-hop bullet that Jackson Brennan gets back in. Ooh, did Marco Albano ever jump on that pitch? And I mean, he hit a sizzling shot into center field for the 4th Kernel hit of this game. We're facing a Southwest Michigan pitching staff that's ranked 7th in the 14-team Midwest League, a 3.55 team ERA. Southwest Michigan has had all sorts of problems on the road. They're only batting .212 on the road. At home at C.O. Brown Stadium, they're batting .245. Madison Edwards, who struck out his first time up swinging, takes low and inside a fastball. A light breeze is blowing out from home plate towards center field here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, where it's 400 feet to dead center, an 8-foot-high green padded wall. Here's a high, lazy fly ball near the line and left. Chugging in to glove it to end the inning is Chris Cunningham. Madison Edwards has flied to left. No runs for the Kernels in the second. 2 hits. There were no Southwest Michigan errors, and the Kernels leave 1 man aboard. We've stranded 2 in 2 at-bats. And after 2, Kernels 2, Devil Rays nothing.
Don't you wonder sometimes how all those companies who claim to be the best can actually be the best? Doesn't just one of them have to be the best? When it comes to motor coach travel, Tri-State Travel is the best. We have the highest safety rating, the largest variety of coaches, a trained driving staff, and 66 years of experience. Don't you want to travel with the best? That would be Tri-State Travel, now at our new location on 7th Street Southwest.
Hi, this is John Rogers, the voice of the Kernels. I'd like to share a few words with you about Colonel team physician, orthopedic surgeon Dr. David Terse. My father was a surgeon, and like most sons, I looked up to him as the greatest dad and the best doctor on earth. When I was diagnosed with a torn meniscus in my right knee recently, I wondered if my doctor here in Cedar Rapids would measure up to my dad's standards. My doctor was Dr. David Terse. Dr. Terse's thorough and expert explanation of my x-ray, his calm and reassuring description of the procedure he would be performing, and his kind and confident bedside manner impressed me beyond my expectations. Dr. Terse has those exceptional qualities we all hope to find in our doctor: an established reputation of excellence, the ability to communicate with us so that we understand and trust his words, and that gut feeling that he truly cares about us. Dr. Terse is a world-class surgeon and a first-class person. I've experienced firsthand why the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim, the Colonel's parent ball club, has entrusted Dr. Terse to care for our players. Tommy Mendoza hit J.T. Hall to start the second, gave up a base hit to left by Rhyne Hughes, but did not allow a double-ray run as the Colonels foiled a bunt attempt, a sacrifice bunt attempt, then turned a double play. And for the first time in this series, we see Southwest Michigan infielder serving as the designated hitter, Matt Devins, D-E-V-I-N-S, a right-handed batter out of Stony Brook in New York, and he loops a base hit, I think, just beyond the reach of Heinle Stacia, the Colonel shortstop. It drops in center field for a leadoff single. Matt Devins had a cue ball or a cue shot off the end of his bat, and it was just beyond the reach of the Colonel all-star shortstop, who flashed to his left, and in shallow center field, Heinle reached out and just about made the grab. But it was just beyond Heinle's reach, and the Devil Rays have their leadoff man aboard for the second time in a row. Here's Hunter Vick. 2-0 Colonels. Hunter Vick is a switch-hitting infielder. A throw to first, and Devins, with 5 steals and 8 tries, gets back. We're playing a Southwest Michigan team that has had a lot of trouble scoring runs this year. They're last in the league in hitting and last in the league in home runs, but they showed us on Saturday night that they are a pretty good ball club, winning 9-3. So they're like us. They've got very good pitching. They've had it all season, and they've really struggled offensively. Hunter Vick lays off a pitch low from Tommy Mendoza. Now a throw to first and a late tag as Matt Devins gets back standing up. 325 down the right field line here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, an 8-foot-high green padded wall, and it's 315 down the left field line, a 16-foot-high white padded wall that has blue letters that spell out Randy Keel Confidence Pavilion, and then below that, Randy Keel's website. It's 16 feet high, and wrapping around the left field foul pole is the 4-tier wooden picnic deck known as the Randy Keel Confidence Picnic Pavilion. Strike one to Hunter Vick. Tommy, set below the chin, delivers another third. Dallas Morris gloves, throws to Infante, out, throw to first, out! I never thought the Colonels would turn a double play, especially with Hunter Vick, a switch hitter batting left. He hit a 3-hop weak grounder to Dallas Morris. Dallas fielded it and threw to second for the force of Matt Devins, and I just didn't think there was any way Larry Infante's peg to first would get Hunter Vick batting from the left side, but it did, and that's the second double play turned by the Colonels in this game. Bolstered by that, Tommy Mendoza flings in a fastball on the outside corner. Strike one to Jackson Brennan, who struck out looking to start the game. 2-0 Colonels. A high drive into deep left center. Way back, way back, way back, and out of here. It's a home run over the 378 mark in left center by Jackson Brennan. Ooh, that was a high, deep drive, chased by Marco Albano and Madison Edwards. Madison pounded his fist into the green wall. He thinks had he gotten there, he could have leapt and caught it, but he didn't get there in time. Therefore, no leaping catch and a home run for Jackson Brennan that cuts the Colonel lead to 2-1. It's the second home run in his 28th game for Jackson Brennan out of Gonzaga. Boy, that was a high fly ball, and it just kept carrying. The wind is blowing out slightly now, and it might have made a little bit of difference, but the ball went sailing over the 378 mark for a home run. Now ball one evens the count to Neil Walton, and the Devil Rays have cut the Kernel lead in half. It's now 2-1 Kernels here in the top of the third inning. That home run surrendered by Tommy Mendoza, just his 10th of the year. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Neil Walton couldn't catch up to the gas from the 18-year-old Kernel right-hander. Tommy pitched against this Devil Ray team way back on April 22nd at C.O. Brown Stadium. He misses upstairs with the fastball, ball two. Tommy pitched well against Southwest Michigan in the third week in April. 7 innings. He gave them only 2 runs on 6 hits, struck out 6, walked 1. A no decision in a Devil Ray 4-3 victory over the Kernels. Neil Walton fists a pop foul well up into the aluminum back bleachers, the Papa John's Plaza down the right field side. And it's still 2-2 to the thin as a rail, lanky, lean Neil Walton. Open stance. Walton wears number 13 on the back of his Devil Ray Gray Road uniform and taps a curveball foul into the opening down the end of the Southwest Michigan third base dugout. For those listeners in Battle Creek, we have a gigantic 6-story scoreboard here at Veterans Memorial Stadium with a beautiful LED board that is the same quality you would experience in your living room. Atop the 6-story scoreboard in right center is the Kernel logo, which is a corn stalk with a baseball coming out that looks like a corn kernel. The 2-2 to Walton is hammered into center right at Madison Edwards. Boy, did Neil Walton hit the ball on the nose, and he lines out to center to end the Devil Ray third inning. Southwest Michigan strikes for 1 run. On 2 hits, no Kernel errors, and nobody left by the visitors. Kernel's coming to bat in the home half of the third, now leading Southwest Michigan 2-1.
Cedar Rapids' oldest wholesale greenhouse is also Cedar Rapids' full-service landscaping and lawn care center. Cedar Rapids Greenhouses has been serving eastern Iowans for 50 years at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road behind Guppy's on the Go. And for a limited time, everything in stock has been reduced by 20%. That's right, 20% off all shrubs, plants, and trees like magnolias, maples, and lilacs. If you're searching for the right beautification project, let the trained landscape designers at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses help you create a unique plan for your home. From retaining walls to ponds, waterfalls, and fountains, they'll work within your budget and taste, and they do free estimates. Lawn care featuring mowing, fertilization, seeding, sodding, aeration, dethatching, maintenance, and cleanup are all done with care and precision. For the highest quality, and for a limited time, 20% off all in-stock trees, shrubs, and plants. See the difference at Cedar Rapids Greenhouses, Eastern Iowa's full-service landscapers at the corner of Johnson Avenue and Edgewood Road.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin insurance agent at Andrews Insurance in Cedar Rapids. I'd like to introduce you to an easy-to-understand, affordable life insurance plan with great benefits. It's simplified issue whole life from Pekin Insurance. The plan requires no medical exam, has guaranteed rates for life, and a guaranteed cash value. Life insurance made simple and affordable from Pekin Insurance. To learn more, contact me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
2-1 Kernels as Larry Infante leads off against Greg Reinhard, the Devil Ray right-hander, 22-year-old out of Wisconsin Whitewater. Division III powerhouse along with Wisconsin Oshkosh. Ball one is upstairs, and now the plate umpire takes his mask off. They're looking behind home plate as though something is on the field, and apparently whatever it was has been rectified. 1-0 to Larry. 227 hitter who walked and scored in the Kernel 2-run first, and he fouls one away to the left. Strike one. There is a grandstand roof here at Veterans Memorial Stadium as we continue to paint a picture of this ballpark to our listeners in Battle Creek. A fastball misses downstairs to Infante, 2-1 to the left-handed batter. The grandstand roof is a feature of our old ballpark that was built in 1949 that the architects thought would give us a taste of the old ballpark, which professional baseball was played in for over 50 years. So there is a grandstand roof that goes about halfway over the seats behind home plate. Ball 3 low to Larry, and the count full to Infante. And then our signs here at the ballpark, there are only 2 on the outfield wall. 1 in left center for Budweiser, 1 in right center for the University of Iowa. Larry Infante on a payoff pitch, cranks a base hit into right. Larry with a big turn and holds with a long single as J.T. Hall had to scamper quickly to his left to cut Larry Infante's base hit off. And Larry Infante on a 3-2 pitch has singled into right. The Kernels have their 5th hit already against 22-year-old Greg Reinhard. Now here's Heinle Stacia, who keyed the Kernel 2-run first inning with a hit-and-run single into left field. Heinle, a switch-hitting shortstop. Fakes a drag bunt and takes high. A snap throw to first, and getting back was Larry Infante. 2 special guests are with us this evening. One of the most kind and delightful and nice people you ever want to meet. Carol Malcolm, a long time supporter of the Kernels through her Second Act program ad each and every year with the Kernels. Carol Malcolm is here. She owns Second Act on Center Point Road. And Second Act is a marvelous place to go for children's clothing, adult wear. It's very good quality at a very affordable price. And there goes the runner! And a swing and a foul off to the left on the 2-0 pitch. The Kernels are playing hit and run again. I don't know who Carol Malcolm's suppliers are, but whoever they are, they have some wonderful hand-me-downs that are just great, and they also have some apparel that fits the taste that you might not find in a retail store anymore. In other words, Carol has modern clothing and vintage wear as well, and she has a sports store that is great if you have kids, boys and girls, that want athletic uniforms or equipment or gear. The runner goes, swinging a foul as Stacia tomahawked a high fastball. Carol Malcolm is here, along with her husband Charlie, and we want to thank Carol for all of her years and years of generous, loyal support of wholesome entertainment in our community. We just couldn't do it without locally owned, caring businesses, in this case a small, successful business, Carol Malcolm and Second Act. Here's a high fly ball into shallow center. Coming in is Jackson Brennan, a few steps to his right, and he makes the play. Heinle Stacia, who singled, stole second, and scored in the Kernel first inning, has flown out to center. 1 on, 1 out for Mark Trumbo. And some of you listening may be saying, I wonder if that's the same Carol Malcolm I had when I went to grade school at Hoover, or what was the other school, Sonia, that's been decommissioned? Tyler? Yes, Tyler is now Metro. Carol was an outstanding elementary school teacher. I've met many folks in this community that had her as a teacher. I know her son, Rod Malcolm. He works at Century Laundry. And, boy, when Carol and Charlie came in about 15 minutes before the game started, it kind of made me pumped to know that they cared enough to come on this Monday evening. They've already enjoyed a couple of dollar hot dogs on this Dollar Dog Monday. 1-1 to Mark Trumbo. A curve is low. For you women, Carol has a great assortment of handbags and purses. For guys like me, she has overcoats, sports coats, dress shirts, casual wear. And as I say, if you have children, she's got a great array of children's clothing and sports equipment. Swinging a foul straight back, and it's 2-1 to Mark Trumbo, or 2-2 to Mark Trumbo. We're in the bottom of the third inning. On Tama Toledo night, we'll be welcoming Todd Holtz from Tama Toledo, a community halfway between Cedar Rapids and Ames, Iowa. Todd should be with us in the fourth inning. Todd Holtz of Tama Toledo, Iowa. 2-1 Kernels here in the home half of the third. Reinhard a long look, and the batter Mark Trumbo finally calls time. Well, he didn't actually call time. He asked for time, and the plate umpire, Corey Hinga, granted it to him. The Devil Ray infield is at double play depth. Walton at short, Hunter Vick at second. Infante not running. A curve is grounded past the third baseman into left for a hard-hit single by Mark Trumbo. Mark Trumbo hit a ground ball hard to the left of Cesar Suarez. Cesar dove to his left, could not get a glove on it, and he's a good third baseman. Boy, did Mark Trumbo hit that pitch hard, really hard. And he sends Larry Infante to second. It's first and second, one out for Dallas Morris. Dallas came through big with 2 out in the Colonel first inning as he delivered a ground ball double right over the bag at third, down into the left field corner. Dallas driving in his 37th and 38th runs of the year, staked the Colonels to a 2-0 lead. Jackson Brennan, the Devil Ray leadoff batter, homered with 2 out in the third to cut the Colonel lead in half, the top of this third inning. 2 on, 1 out from Morris. High pop foul off to the right, strike one. Todd Holtz from Tama, Toledo, I think has been brought up here by Tony Pantini. Todd Holtz? Todd, thank you for coming. Todd, I'd like you to introduce yourself to Carol, Malcolm, and Charlie. They're my guests as well. They may have even visited your community before. Oh, no. No, we want you guys to stay. I just wanted you to meet Todd. Well, no. Carol, he's fine. He's going to visit with us on the air for a few moments. You bet. A foul off to the right by Dallas Morris, and Dallas is in the hole now. No balls, 2 strikes. Todd Holtz is with us from Tama, Toledo. And, Todd, I'm going to have you push that microphone up just a little. There you go. And we'll see what Dallas Morris can do on this 0-2 pitch with 2 on and 1 out in the third. He fouls it off to the right. Boy, Todd, you guys had T-shirts made up for your night here.
You betcha. We got it all decked out tonight.
That is wonderful. And you're with the Chamber of Commerce?
Yes, I am.
Are you the president or director?
This year I'm just the treasurer.
The treasurer. Well, that's pretty important. Todd Holtz is with us from Tama, Toledo, and we'll get to know him and his community well over the next inning or so. A ground ball to short. Underneath the diving effort of Neil Walton into center, and racing home is Larry Infante. He scores on a ground ball single just beyond the reach of the shortstop, Neil Walton. It went into center field. I thought when it left the bat it was a double play ball. But Dallas Morris drives home his third run. He's driven in all 3 Colonel tallies tonight, and he gives the Colonels a 3-1 lead. Larry Infante raced home from second on the ground ball single, up the middle, just underneath the glove of the diving Neil Walton. It went into center. Mark Trumbo advanced to second, and the Colonels have increased their lead to its original margin of 2 runs. It's 3-1 Colonels here in the bottom of the third inning. Now the batter is Brett Martinez, who grounded out sharply to second to end the Colonel first inning. Ball 1 high and outside. Well, I got to credit you, Todd, and your community. We heard earlier this evening on our reports here in the zone, a high fly ball into shallow right. It'll be caught by J.T. Hall for the second out of the inning, and Mark Trumbo returns to first. Mark Trumbo returns to second. Dallas Morris holds at first. There are 2 away here in the Colonel third as Brett Martinez flies to right. That brings up Jordan Renz. We heard reports of some very bad weather in Tama, Toledo around 4:30 today.
Yeah, it was probably a little bit after that, about 5:30 actually, and depending on when you're driving over here, you got kind of nasty on the way over.
How did you keep your folks from getting discouraged and turning back?
Hey, we're just out here to have fun and don't want to turn back with the idea that we can be out here, so.
Todd, that's great. And this is, I believe, one of the first Tama Toledo community nights you've had, isn't it?
We had one 2 years ago.
2 years ago. Well, I'm glad that my colleague and friend Ken Franz contacted your community. The 1-0 to Jordan is a breaking pitch at the knees. Strike one. 3-1 Colonels, bottom of the third inning. 2 on, 2 out for the Colonel leading RBI man who singled into center his first time up. The Colonels have out-hit the Devil Rays 7-3, lead them 3-1. curve. High drive into left. It'll be caught by Chris Cunningham to end the inning. Ooh, Jordan Wren's got a curveball and just missed as he lofts it into left to end the inning. In the third inning, no runs for the... Excuse me. In the third inning, 1 run for the Kernels on 3 hits. There were no double-A errors, and the Kernels leave 2 men aboard. We've stranded 4. We have the latitude in our broadcast log to keep it right here with Chamber of Commerce Treasurer from Tama, Toledo, Todd Holtz. And, Todd, it's your night here at the ballpark. I'm going to get right to what I think our listeners would like to know. When we think of Tama, Toledo, we think of 2 things. A place to stop and gas up and rest and eat before we go on to Ames for a Cyclone sporting or cultural event, and, of course, the casino. But I'm sure there's much more to Tama, Toledo than those 2 items.
Definitely. We got a lot of things that we do throughout the year, and full schedule of events throughout the year put on by the Chamber of Commerce and other civic organizations, and there's a lot more to it than just that. So we'd like to know that.
Share some of the... you can either talk about events that have occurred already this spring or ones that are coming up this summer and fall.
Okay, coming up in just a couple of short weeks, we have our sidewalk sales and ridiculous days. August 3rd through the 5th in Tama, and then just on the Friday in Toledo. Then on August 5th and 6th, we're going to, for the first time, we're going to put on a Tama Toledo cruise and car show. We're going to cruise Saturday night and throughout both towns, up around the courthouse and back down in Tama, have a street dance. And then on Sunday, we're going to have the show up at the high school. So we're hoping for probably 125 cars or so.
Well, that's wonderful. Now, let's get back to the crazy days and ridiculous days.
Yes.
That sounds like fun, bargain, and selection.
That's exactly right. A lot of the local businesses put tables out on the sidewalks and give you some specials there. Special treats as far as root beer floats and ice cream treats throughout
the kids
throughout the day for everybody.
Oh, for everybody, yeah.
Gotcha.
Well, when you said root beer floats, I better get there.
Yeah.
Tama, Toledo is west of here on Highway 30, and as Tommy Mendoza's first pitch is a letter-high fastball on the inside corner to Cesar Suarez, right-handed hitter from Venezuela, who grounded out to short on an outstanding play deep at the hole by Stacia. In the first, Tommy Mendoza's fastball misses just outside and low, ball 1. 3-1 Kernels. We're in the top of the 4th inning, and it's our pleasure to have Todd Holtz representing Tama, Toledo. He's with their chamber. Ooh, a changeup, and way out in front was Suarez. Cesar missed it, strike 2. Todd Holtz, the Tama, Toledo area, I believe, is about, I'm going to take a guess here, about an hour and 10 minutes from Cedar Rapids?
Actually, from the diamond here, you can get there about 45 minutes.
That is very... Well, that's great to know. Highway 30 makes it easy.
Yes, it does. It's a straight shot for us.
Todd, how big are the combined communities of Tama, Toledo?
Tama's about 2,700, and Toledo's about 2,400, so about 52 total. 5,200 people.
And what makes your community thrive in terms of, are they small businesses? Is there one, I'm sure the casino is a big employer, but...
The casino is a bigger employer for us. Tama Paperboard that does some recycled paper products for cereal boxes and so forth. Another big one for us. We have the Iowa Juvenile Home, which is a detention center for girls that are under age of majority. They have quite a few people that are employed there as well. And, of course, the school is always a big employer in town, too.
Well, thank you. We'll love hearing about your community. I've already learned a lot. We're going to get a little further down through the summer after you mention the 2 events, the sale, Crazy Days, Ridiculous Days, and then the auto show. A ground ball up the middle, sharply hit on a 1-2 pitch, and Cesar Suarez, a .291 batter. He owns the highest batting average in the Double-A lineup. I think I mistakenly said earlier that it was J.T. Hall who's now going to bat, but Cesar Suarez has the highest average for Southwest Michigan, and he wraps a single through the middle. And the leadoff man aboard for the Devil Rays in the top of the 4th inning with the Kernels ahead 3-1. After those events in early August, Todd, is there anything before Labor Day in Tama, Toledo?
Yeah, on August 29th, we're going to have a circus in town.
A circus?
Yes, we will. It's Miriam and Merriweather Circus is going to be in town. We're still working on some details of that, so if you have any questions, please give us a call.
And ball one, low and away to J.T. Hall. I'm eager to know where that circus would be held, on what grounds, the 1-0. A pop-up, and there may be a play for Brett Martinez near the backstop. There is! Brett Martinez then fires to first, and Suarez just got back safely. Brett Martinez came all the way back to within a foot of the screen, to the left of home plate as we look down on the diamond, and Brett was lucky that foul pop didn't skim the screen. It stayed parallel to the backstop, and Brett made an outstanding play. We've seen that play be a very challenging one for a lot of catchers in this Midwest League. So a foul pop by J.T. Hall is the first out of the Devil Ray fourth inning, 3-1 Kernels. And the batter, Rhyne Hughes, left-handed here. Ground ball off Mendoza's glove, behind second. Infante has it, underhands to second, out, throw to first, safe. Boy, was that play full of action. A ground ball that Tommy Mendoza reached up and deflected to the second baseman, Larry Infante. Larry may have been shaken up a little bit. He's walking gingerly back to his second base position. Larry fielded it behind second, underhanded to Stacia for the force of Cesar Suarez. 1-4-6. And then the throw by Stacia to first was not quite in time to get Rhyne Hughes. The Kernels narrowly missed turning their third double play of the night. Here's a little looper into shallow left. It's trouble, it's trouble, it's trouble, it's trouble, it's trouble. A diving effort. No go for Marco Albano. Racing around third, and now stopping is the lead runner. Racing around third was Rhyne Hughes, and he stops on a double by Christian Lopez. Christian Lopez lofted a soft fly ball, a softly hit fly ball into shallow left. Marco Albano came on like gangbusters, dove headlong, and could not come up with it. Heinley Stacia, the shortstop, was going out. He retrieved it behind Marco, and Rhyne Hughes was held at third by Skeeter Barnes on a double by Christian Lopez. And it's second and third, 2 out, and Chris Cunningham, the batter. Let's see if Tommy Mendoza can prevent him from tying the game with a base hit here in the fourth inning with 2 out. Cunningham, a right-handed batter, with a wide stance, takes strike one called. Todd Holtz, where will that circus be, and what's the date again?
Date again is August 29th, and we're still trying to decide where the best place is, either at the high school grounds or at the Toledo Heights Park.
Will it have elephants and trapeze artists and all the things we associate with the circus?
We're looking forward to all those items, yes.
Wow. How did you land that?
They contacted us. It was kind of out of the blue, and they contacted us looking for a sponsor. They're kind of a traveling circus, and we're going to put on one big performance on August 29th. Actually, 2 performances. Sorry, 2.
Man, Todd, you don't know when I was a little kid how I used to love if my parents could take me to the circus. A ground ball foul past third, and then when I got a little older, I, like every teenager, thought about running away from home and joining the circus.
Sure.
Yeah, because that's the life of adventure.
That's right.
Well, that's neat that Tamo Toledo is going to host a circus. We'll hear a little bit more about what's going to happen this fall in Tama, Toledo. They're our Community Pride featured guest tonight. Swing and a miss on a fastball. Chris Cunningham reached out and over the plate, but could not catch up to Tommy Mendoza's fastball. Tommy strikes out Cunningham and prevents the Southwest Michigan Ball Club from scoring here in the fourth inning. No runs for the Devil Rays. 2 hits. There were no Colonel errors, and the Devil Rays leave a pair. They've stranded 3. We go to the bottom of the fourth inning, and the Kernels are still ahead of the Devil Rays 3-1.
This summer, children of all ages will enhance their imaginations through reading thanks to the Summer Reading Program. Toyota Financial Services, The Gazette, Culver's Frozen Custard and Butterburgers, and Bloomsbury Farm have teamed up with the Cedar Rapids Kernels, encouraging children to read during the summer. For every 250 minutes a child reads, they will receive a reward to be claimed at the Ben Ritter Diamond Shop at Veterans Memorial Stadium. For every child that reaches 1,000 minutes, they will be invited to the Kernels Reader Recognition Day, Sunday, August 27th. They will receive the autographs of Kernels players on the field. Encourage your child to start reading today, helping them reach their goals for the summer.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on an old vibe, from me to you. A tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be a pepper?
Now that's cool.
but pepper is a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this. Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mashup of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more.
I'm a pepper.
You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Woo! Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Flint Whipke leads off against Greg Reinhardt as we go to the bottom of the fourth inning on Tama Toledo night here at the ballpark. And strike one to Flint, who reached on a fielder's choice his first time up. A big swing and a miss by Whipke, and it's 0-2 to Flint. Flint is hitting .253, 2 homers, 25 runs driven in, a right-handed batter. And he's facing Greg Reinhardt, the Southwest Michigan right-hander, to start the Kernel fourth. Kernel's up 3-1. A fastball just misses outside to Whipke. Todd Holtz is with us from Tama Toledo. Todd, you told me between innings you're not only on the Chamber of Commerce, but that's a volunteer position. You are a bank branch manager. A swing and a miss by Flint on a fastball, and Greg Reinhardt has his third strikeout of the evening.
Yes, you're correct. All the people that help us on the Chamber are volunteer at this time.
Boy, that's something that you guys are able to, well, it shows your commitment and pride in the community. Really.
Exactly. Yep. Well, I work with a great group of people.
Todd Holtz, what's coming up after Labor Day in Tama Toledo?
A couple of things. We have a craft and hobby show on November 5th. The Civic Women always put that on. And then the first weekend in December, we always have our Christmas events. So,
what are your Christmas events?
We have a lighted parade on Saturday night, Festival of Trees, which is just all the businesses decorate trees in their own fashion. We usually put on a Christmas ball with the community band playing for that kind of big band swing kind of dancing that is kind of popular. So.
Well, that's great. A swing and a miss by Marco Albano after he took a strike. The 0-2 to the Colonel number 9 hitter is a fastball upstairs. 1-2 to Marco Albano, who singled into center. Line to single into center his first time up. Marco hitting .211. No homers, 18 RBIs for Albano, the Colonel number 9 hitter. Right-handed batter. And a late swing and a miss on an 88-mile-an-hour high fastball. Boy, Greg Reinhardt struck out 19 batters in a Wisconsin collegiate game against Wisconsin Stout, and I know there's a big difference between Division III baseball and Midwest League professional baseball, but I'll tell you what, this guy, I can see why the Devil Rays chose him high in the 6th round last year as a Division III stalwart. He has blown away Flint Whipke and Marco Albano. Here's Madison Edwards, who's 0-2 tonight. A change-up low. Todd Holtz, what percentage of Tama Toledo are Native Americans?
This is going to be purely a guess, but I would say in the 25% range.
Yes, and
we have a large Hispanic population.
Oh, you do?
Yep.
Okay, I did not know that.
Yes. Mm-hmm.
Large Hispanic population and Native American. A swing and a pitch fouled off to the left. How badly did the dispute between the tribes hurt you a year or two ago with the casino shut down?
Well, definitely we saw a big slowdown in traffic throughout the town, and the businesses really like to see those people coming in town.
Sure. Well, I'm glad that's behind us. A broken bat pop-up behind second, and it's caught for the final out of the 4th inning by Neil Walton. Down in order go the Kernels in the bottom of the 4th inning. Well, Todd Holtz, would you like to share a couple more insights into Tama Toledo? We have a guest due in a few moments from the Old Creamery Theater.
Oh, yes.
But from what it sounds like, with you being only 45 minutes away, Tama Toledo would be a great place for Cedar Rapids area folks to spend some time visiting and relaxing.
Well, very, very much so. I think there's plenty of opportunity that, I'm a rural town kind of guy, so coming to the big city, I know it can be kind of hectic. So it's a great way to get away from maybe your hectic life and come out and enjoy some of the hometown events that we have going on throughout the year.
And you've cited a lot of great ones in addition to the casino.
Yes.
Todd, thank you for braving some treacherous thunderstorms and hail earlier this afternoon to bring such a strong contingent from Tama, Toledo. We, the Kernels, really appreciate it.
Well, we appreciate being here, and again, like we say, we just out here to have fun and show some support for local teams. So,
Todd, thank you. I love your T-shirts.
Well, thank you.
Colonel logo on it, Tama Toledo Community Night with the Kernels, presented by the Tama Toledo Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
Todd Holtz, have a great, fun rest of the evening.
Well, thank you.
Thanks to Todd Holtz, our guest. The Devil Rays come to bat in the top of the fifth, and the Colonel, well, we're going to keep it right here. That's what we'll do. And, Todd, you're welcome to stay and watch from here for a few minutes if you like. We do want to keep a lookout, Todd, for a Sean McCall. He's due up here at any moment from the Old Creamery Theater, and if it's up to you, but you can stay or head down, but thank you. Leading off for the Devil Rays is Matt Devins. Matt is batting eighth in the Southwest Michigan lineup. Again, we want to welcome all the listeners in Cereal City, USA, Battle Creek, Michigan. They're the Devil Ray top-notch, first-class, outstanding play-by-play voice, Mike Wagenheim, has lost his voice here on this trip, and Mike was kind enough to say, John, do you think our listeners could listen to the broadcast of the Colonel Devil Ray game through your broadcast? And I said, Mike, it would be a privilege. 0-2 the count to Matt Devins. We're in the top of the fifth inning, 3-1 Kernels. A change-up in the dirt is a ball. Matt Devins singled to open up the Devil Ray third, but he was erased in a double play. Matt is hitting .213, no homers, 12 RBIs, and he swings at a high fastball and did not get it. Tommy Mendoza fans Matt Devins on a 1-2 pitch, and that is the 18-year-old Colonel right-hander's third strikeout of the game. Tommy is 1-7, lost 5. In 122 innings pitched, he's only allowed 115 hits. Colonel right-hander Tommy Mendoza has struck out 98 in 122 innings and walked only 25. A fastball is laced into left. Diving catch by Marco Albano. He is hurt. Marco may have thrown his shoulder out of joint. Marco is up now with a sore shoulder. The defensive play of the game as Marco Albano came diving in headlong and took a hit away from Hunter Vick. Hunter, a switch hitter, batting left, hit a line drive that was tailing away from Marco Albano. Marco came racing in, dove headlong, and he must have had the wind knocked out of him. I thought he might have either broken his collarbone or dislocated his shoulder by the way he reacted, but he's up, and in fact, the Colonel trainer, Eric Munson, came out to the first baseline, but then Marco Albano signaled Eric Munson that he's okay. What a catch by Marco Albano to take a double away from Hunter Vick. What a catch by Albano, who has just now started to play the outfield in the second half. Swing and a miss on an 0-1 pitch by Jackson Brennan. He's in the hole 0-2. We're already in the top of the fifth inning. The Colonels lead it 3-1. We play at noon tomorrow. A fastball, 93 miles an hour on the Bank Iowa speed pitch indicator, taken outside by the Devil Ray leadoff batter, Jackson Brennan. 3-1 Colonels, and we're in the top of the fifth inning. 2 out, nobody on, and a changeup in the dirt. Jackson Brennan thought about offering on it, but he held up in time. We're expecting Sean McCall from the Old Creamery Theater to pay us a visit. But instead, Farmer Joe walks in. I'm just kidding. Swinging at a tip foul into the glove of into the glove of Brett Martinez. Colonel Assistant Sonia Massey had a very, very, her pants were drenched, her shirt was drenched, and somehow she scavenged herself a pair of 4X sweatpants and a Colonel or an Angel shirt. She looks like she's ready for a slumber party. Down in order go the Devil Rays in the top of the fifth inning. Tommy Mendoza strikes out Jackson Brennan, who tipped the 2-strike pitch into the glove of Brett Martinez. Tommy Mendoza now has 4 strikeouts. And as we go to the bottom of the fifth inning, hoping to welcome Sean McCall of the Old Creamery Theater to our broadcast, the Kernels on top of the Devil Rays, 3-1.
We're here for your communication needs. Internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make a good team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communication.
Did you know that Honda has the highest fuel economy average of any automobile company in America? Randy Kill Honda in Cedar Rapids is proud of their Honda dealership, and for good reason. Just listen to this list of remarkable awards for Honda vehicles. The Ridgeline, voted the 2006 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. The Honda Civic, voted 2006 Motor Trend Car of the Year. 2006 Car Driver voted the Honda Pilot as the best large SUV and best overall value of the year. Add it to the Honda Odyssey, Car Driver's best van for 2006. It's easy to see why Randy Kill Honda is the home of confidence and continues to offer the best value and lowest prices on your next new Honda. Check out the large selection of fuel-efficient pre-owned vehicles, too, online at randykill.com. Randy Kill Honda, where they treat you right.
Larry Infante has fallen behind 0-2, leading off the Colonel fifth. It's the numbers 2, 3, and 4 men in the Allen Motor Company order to face Greg Reinhard. Reinhard's 0-2 is a fastball upstairs to Larry. Infante has walked and scored and singled and scored. Larry Infante, left-handed batter, cocks his hands high above his ear, and a swing and a miss at the pitch in the dirt, and the ball trickles about 20 feet to the right of home plate. The catcher, Christian Lopez, had to scramble to his right and pounce on it. He threw Larry Infante out. It went 2-3. Credit Greg Reinhard, who's been very impressive the last 2 innings with his 5th strikeout. Halo happenings, results from around the Los Angeles Angels of Anaheim farm system. And we were happy to report before the broadcast, right before the rain delay, that former Colonel All-Star second baseman and Midwest League batting champion Howie Kendrick made a big impact as the Angels streaked to their 10th win in their last 11 games. They're a game above 500. The Angels beat Tampa Bay 7-5 in Southern California yesterday, and Howie Kendrick had 3 hits and 2 doubles and 2 RBIs. Strike 1 to Heinley Stashitz, 2-1 to Heinley, and he lifts the 2-1 pitch foul over the backstop. Just to our left, into one of our suites, it ricochets down below. AAA Salt Lake is 54-40, the AAA Angel affiliate. Ground ball to the right side. Over to get it is the first baseman, and that's Rhyne Hughes. He tosses with his left hand to the pitcher covering. A well-coordinated play between Hughes and Reinhard retires Heinley Stacia. Heinley hit a low, soft liner on 2 hops to the right of Rhyne Hughes. Hughes went to his right, gloved it on 2 hops, and then led Reinhard, the pitcher, for the 3-1 putout. AAA Salt Lake was drubbed by Sacramento 14-4 yesterday. Former Colonel shortstop Adam Pavkovich was 2 for 3 with a pair of doubles, and former All-Star Colonel catcher Jeff Mathis 1 for 4 in a losing Salt Lake game. Mark Trumbo looks at a strike, and now a fastball high and away. Boy, both these pitchers, Reinhard and Mendoza, take 7 to 8 seconds between deliveries. A curve, and it's chopped foul off the railing of the Devil Ray third base dugout. 1-2 to Mark Trumbo. Greg Reinhard has found his best stuff. The right-hander is retired. 7 straight Kernels. 7 in a row retired by 22-year-old right-hander Greg Reinhard. Swinging a foul as Trumbo had a pitch up in his wheelhouse but fouled it straight back. Double-A Arkansas did not play yesterday. They're 12-12 in the second half. I can't imagine why a Double-A team wouldn't play on a Sunday. A change-up in the dirt, and it's ball 2 to Trumbo. 2 gone, bases empty. Kernels batting in the bottom of the 5th inning, leading Southwest Michigan 3-1. In the California League, the Rancho Cucamonga Quakes are now 10-14. The Quakes lost to Lake Elsinore 8-7 yesterday. Former Colonel shortstop, center fielder, second baseman Sean Rodriguez was 3 for 4 with a home run. Ball 3 high and away to the right-handed batter Mark Trumbo. And Colonel All-Star second baseman Freddie Sandoval was 2 for 4 with 2 runs driven in. Nate Sutton, our second baseman last year, homered, but the Rancho Cucamonga club lost 8-7. Well, we told you we were expecting Sean McCall. Sean's here from the Old Creamery Theater in Amana. Sean, we're going to have you pick up that headset, and we'll see how much longer the Colonels bat here in the bottom of the 5th. We'll have you visit with us throughout the 6th inning. Sean McCall is here as Trumbo fouls one off. And, Sean, I understand from Jack Rader, our general manager, that you like to reach the same audience that we like to reach with our events.
You bet. You know, we're always striving to find those Cedar Rapids folks that are looking for a good time at the Kernels or down in Amana to play.
Oh, man, Sean, we've heard so many great things about the Old Creamery Theater. Last year you had a one-act play about Yogi Berra.
We did, and in fact that actor's coming back to join us in a comedy this fall.
That's great.
Yep, Sean will be back, although the union is making him change his name. He can't be Sean Cassidy because there's already a Sean Cassidy, and he's joining the union with us this fall.
Oh, that's great. That's great. A 3-2 pitch is low. What an at-bat for Mark Trumbo. Mark fouled off 5 two-strike pitches from Greg Reinhardt, and the first walk issued by the Southwest Michigan Double Ray hurler since the first inning. And you know what 2-out walks usually mean. They usually mean trouble if you're a pitcher. It's a cardinal sin in the Angel organization to walk a guy with 2 outs. Colonel pitchers do it on occasion, but they are preached to not to walk a guy with 2 outs. Greg Reinhardt lost Mark Trumbo on a base on balls, and that brings up Dallas Morris, who has driven all 3 Colonel runs tonight. Morris goes up swinging and fouls one straight back. Sean McCall, the Old Creamery Theater, as you said, is high-class, fun entertainment at a very, very affordable rate.
Absolutely. That's what we set out to do, is entertain folks and not have it crunch the pocketbook too much, especially when you've got to spend a little gas money to get down there. We understand that. So we kept our price down. We kept it the same. Actually, we lowered it $1 from last year.
That's fantastic. A curve to Morris is a strike. Now a fastball. The Devil Rays wanted the call of strike 3 from plate umpire Corey Hinga. They didn't get it. Trumbo at first, 2 away, bottom of the 5th inning, 3-1 Kernels. Sean McCall from the Old Creamery Theater is with us. We're glad he's here. There's a drive into the right field corner, tailing foul. Dallas Morris swung late and stroked it foul into the right field corner. Sean McCall, what is your role with Old Creamery Theater, and how many full-time folks work at the theater?
Oh, gosh. Within a given year, we probably hire in, a total of 50 people in the company. But in terms of the full-time staff, between the artistic side and the administrative, we got probably 10 to 12 that have year-long positions.
Sounds much like the Colonel front office, 10 to 12 full-time year-round folks. The runner goes, a ground ball, base hit into right center. Second hit-and-run single for the Colonels tonight. Rumbling into third without a play is Mark Trumbo as Jackson Brennan retrieves it in right center. Dallas Morris, a hit-and-run single. He drove it right through the spot that Hunter Vick left to cover second base. Trumbo was running. Dallas Morris is 3 for 3, and the Colonels are mounting a 2-out rally with Brett Martinez batting. Time is called as the Devil Ray pitching coach, R.C. Lichtenstein, heads to the hill. That's really his name. Brett Martinez, 0 for 2 tonight, will now bat with runners at first and third and 2 out. Sean, is your background in marketing or in theater?
Theater.
And where did you go to school?
I went to school in St. Louis at a conservatory for theater arts where I am qualified to do nothing but act. But
that's great.
That's what they pay me for. So.
Well, now how many of the performances that you put on throughout a year will you act in? All of them? Half of them?
Well, yeah, the Creamery does so many in different spaces and stuff that you can't be in everything.
Sure.
Because some run at the same time. But I'm usually in about 5, roughly.
Wow, Sean, how do you memorize the lines?
Sometimes it's tough. You know, writers, if you got a good writer, they write a good rhythm, and if it's a punchline to a joke, you tend to remember that too. So sometimes it's not too bad. The role that I'm getting ready to play is actually a role I played before. So
we'll hear about that as Martinez takes the strike. What is that role, Sean?
It's the guy in Lend Me a Tenor who's sort of the assistant gopher who gets shanghaied into playing Otello in a big opera. It's very funny.
You got me laughing just describing it. The 0-1 to Martinez is driven in the air down the right field line. J.T. Hall glides over, and in fair ground, J.T. Hall makes the catch. Ooh, what a big out recorded by Greg Reinhardt as he gets Brett Martinez to fly out down the line and right. A 2-out walk and a hit-and-run single, but Reinhardt gets Brett Martinez to fly to right and keep the Devil Rays right in the game. In the fifth for Southwest Michigan, or for the Kernels, in the fifth, no runs, 1 hit, a walk. There were no Devil Ray errors. The Kernels leave a pair, and we'll be right back with Old Creamery Theater's Sean McCall. Our Springhouse Trivia question will come your way in the 7th inning tonight because we want to use our time with Sean as best we can and hear about some of the fabulous entertainment we can look forward to later this summer and this fall and perhaps even this winter at Old Creamery. After 5, Kernels lead Southwest Michigan 3-1.
Whether you're a serious athlete or a weekend warrior, injuries can take you out of your game. Smart athletes know that Physiotherapy Associates in Cedar Rapids are the experts in the treatment and prevention of sport-related injuries. Our expert staff serves the metro and surrounding area high school athletes. Physiotherapy Associates of Cedar Rapids, the smart choice in sports medicine. Call us at 398-1569. That's 398-1569. We'll get you back in your game today.
Training and the highest quality craftsmanship in the world are 2 hallmarks of union workers. Prospective construction clients can depend on workers who have learned their craft and mastered their skills through the Cedar Rapids, Iowa City Building Trades and Construction Council World-Class Apprenticeship Program. These experienced tradesmen will work with signed contractors to bring flexibility, efficiency, safety, and the highest skill and quality in the world to all building and construction projects. Eastern Iowa works best when we say union, yes.
Technology pervades every aspect of our daily lives. This remarkable age we live in has a machine or a computer to meet almost all of our needs. But you won't find a technological device that can provide you with the personal attention for something as important as insurance. Neighbor Insurance Services, your professional Pekin insurance agency in Hiawatha, is trained on all insurance matters, including how much coverage is enough coverage. For personal attention to all of your insurance needs, see the insurance professionals at Neighbor Insurance Services in Hiawatha.
We're starting the 6th inning here at Veterans Memorial Stadium, 3-1 Kernels. The game was an hour and 15 minutes late getting started because of threatening weather and a short thunder shower. And a ground ball up the middle off the bat of Neil Walton, and a great play behind the base by Stacia, who throws Walton out. Finally, Stacia showed as much range on that ground ball up the middle behind second than we've seen from the All-Star shortstop this entire season. And his counterpart, Neil Walton, can only shake his head as he heads back into the Devil Ray third base dugout. Wow, Heinley Stacia wound up throwing out Neil Walton from behind second from the second base side of the bag, and Heinley Stacia makes a terrific, dazzling play to his left to rob Walton of a leadoff single here in the 6th inning. And Tommy Mendoza is now fallen behind Cesar Suarez 2-0. Suarez is 1 for 2 tonight. Kernels about hit the Devil Rays 8-5. Suarez taps one foul behind home plate, strike 1. Sean McCall is our guest from Old Creamery Theater. And Sean, you're here at the ballpark to promote and advertise and encourage folks to come see this summer or this fall at Old Creamery.
Well, we've got a lot of stuff coming up this week, as a matter of fact.
A ground ball to second, and Suarez is thrown out as Infante bobbled it, but throws out Cesar. You have things coming up this week.
We've got Riders in the Sky, that legendary country western group. Grammy winners, worked on Toy Story 2.
They're coming.
They're doing their radio theater show. We have 5 performances only, Wednesday through Friday. Friday night's already sold out.
Friday night sold out.
But some of the other shows have a few tickets left, and that's going to be great fun. I mean, they do comedy and sort of a radio show broadcast live.
Yeah.
With their country music and,
That sounds like fun. It sounds like a takeoff of Garrison Keillor or Whose Line Is It or the Public Radio. Yeah, those kind of shows used to be called Chautauquas. Is that right?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
I go to the State Fair and see the Chautauqua booth or whatever every year. But
well, that's great, Sean. That's starting tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right.
Wednesday.
Oh, Wednesday.
Today's only Monday.
That's right, Sean. I'm sorry. I got my days mixed up as usual. In minor league professional baseball, they tend to run together. How can folks get the few remaining tickets?
Well, our box office is 1-800-35-AMANA.
1-800-35-AMANA,
which is 352-6262. And our website is oldcreamery.com, although we're not quite high-tech enough to reserve online. You have to submit an email request and have to have 3 or 4 days for a reply. But,
so the best way would be, the call, or can you even buy tickets on site, not the night of the show, but drive down and get them?
You can, or, if there are things available the night of the show, but you might want to call first and make sure that's the case, especially with Riders in the Sky. Because they are very popular.
A swing and a miss by J.T. Hall, and a 1-2-3 inning for Tommy Mendoza, the Colonel 18-year-old right-hander, is now retired 7 straight Devil Rays. We're going to keep it right here. We have the latitude to do that in our radio log and continue learning about upcoming attractions at Old Creamery Theater in Amana from Sean McCall. And Sean, following the Riders in the Sky, some other events that you'd like our listening public to know about?
Well, Saturday night we celebrate the Creamery's 35th anniversary with gala benefits for the theater. There's food, there's entertainment, some selections from our children's show that went out last year, some of the musical members of the group singing, and we're going to have some dancing and some live bands, so that'll be fun on Saturday. And then next Friday we open Lend Me a Tenor.
That's the show you're in, the play you're in. Now, Sean, on that benefit dinner, and we're going to be telling our listeners about a new Devil Ray pitcher who's going to take over in the bottom of the 6th inning. On the Saturday night affair, is that by invitation only, or can folks still be a part of that benefit celebration?
No, there are still some tickets left for that, and they can call the box office as well for the dinner and the entertainment, and I think it'll be a lot of fun.
Sean, how about Lend Me a Tenor? When does it start, and how long will it run?
We open on Friday the 28th, which is a week from this coming Friday. The show itself will perform 7 weekends, but we're taking 2 weekends off during Farm Progress because it's awful hard to get to our theater during that week.
Sure.
Although Tuesdays with Maury is going to be in our depot space, the other side of town during those 2 weeks. But
you're putting on a play Tuesdays with Maury?
Yeah.
A lot of our players have read that book on our bus trips.
Yeah, we actually negotiated the rights. They've just released the play, and Tom Johnson got on the phone with the William Morris Agency in New York, who has the rights to the play, and said, I think our audience would love to see this. Can we get the rights to do it this summer? And they said, sure. So as far as I know, we're the Iowa premier, or at least the first professional theater that has gotten the rights to do it, other than maybe a tour that I think might hit Des Moines.
Well, that's great, Sean. Wow, you guys are bringing great entertainment to Old Creamery Theater. We go to the bottom of the 6th inning, 3-1 Kernels, and the new hurler for the Devil Rays is a right-hander, Edward Delacruz. Edward Delacruz, and he's a tall right-hander, and he brings in a strike call to Jordan Renz. 3-1 Kernels, bottom of the 6th inning. Jordan is 1 for 2. Delacruz with a sidearm pitch and a swing and a miss by Jordan Renz from Eduardo Delacruz. Delacruz is a tall, lanky right-hander who's very difficult on right-handed batters. He works from the stretch. And his 0-2 is low and away, ball 1 to Jordan Renz. Eddie Delacruz is on for the 28th time out of the Devil Ray bullpen with 2 saves, 1 and 3, a 4.58 ERA. In 39 1/3, he's given up 45 hits. Ooh, a breaking pitch froze Jordan Renz. It looked good from here, but the plate umpire, Corey Hinga, ruled it a ball. 39 1/3 innings. Delacruz has surrendered 45 hits, struck out 37 in 39 1/3, walked 26. The league hitting .296 against Eddie Delacruz. A ground ball to deep short, surrounded by Walton. Neal throws off balance, and he makes a dynamite play. Neil Walton, out of Cal State Fullerton, circled that ground ball so he didn't have to backhand it, and then pedaled his feet quickly and had plenty on his throw to get Jordan Renz one out here in the Kernels 6, 3-1 Kernels. The starter, Greg Reinhard for Southwest Michigan, went 5 innings. And in 5 innings, Reinhard surrendered 3 runs on 8 hits. Greg Reinhard, the starter, struck out 5, and he walked 2. He cannot win. He could lose. Ooh, Flint Whipke is struck with a pitch on the right wrist or hand, and you could hear the smack of the ball. Flint's as tough as they come on this Kernel Club, and he walks and now trots to first base. It looks like Flint will be able to shake it off. Brother, did Eddie Dela Cruz bore in on the hands of Flint Whipke, the right-handed batter, and the pitch hit him. Sean McCall, I know our listeners are saying, okay, John, that's great. We're going to call Old Creamery or visit the box office or log online. Now, how did Sean become an actor, and how many years has he been at Old Creamery?
Well, I guess actually this will be my 14th season down there at the Old Creamery. When ironically I was hired to do Lend Me a Tenor the very first time. I was working in Kansas City and auditioned, and they brought me in to play the role, and so here it's really great to go back to that show, and it helps with the lines a little bit when you've played a part before.
Well, sure.
I'm finding.
You've been here 14 years. Do you live in Amana or Iowa City or Cedar?
I now own a house in Marengo.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
Great community.
It's very nice.
Strike one to Marco Albano, and you are able to get plenty of roles and work at Old Creamery full-time. A bouncer to second could be a double play. Second baseman Vic to Walton 1, Walton to first, not in time. Marco Albano on a chopper to second to Hunter Vic, reaches as he forces Flint Whipke 4-6. 2 gone here in the Kernels 6th inning, and it's 3-1 Kernels. You're able to, you have stability in your life, and does the Actors Union, I know no union is as strong as the Major League Players Association, and the minor leaguers don't have a union, but how strong is the Actors Union?
Well, you know, they do what they can for us with guaranteed salaries, and mainly they help with health insurance.
Great. Those are 2 keys.
And pension plans that are all administered through the union. So we're very lucky in that sense.
Those are 3. Guaranteed salary means that you are going to be hired for a certain rate.
Yeah, and the working conditions, too. You know, theaters have to have certain things.
Sure. Ground ball diving stop at first by Rhyne Hughes, and he steps on the base to end the inning. Madison Edwards is grounded out sharply to first to end the 6th inning. No runs for the Kernels. No hits, a hit batter. There were no Southwest Michigan errors, and the Kernels leave 1 man aboard and have stranded 7. We're going to wrap things up with Sean McCall when the Devil Rays bat in the top of the 7th, and we'll have our Springhouse trivia question for you when the Kernels bat in the bottom of the 7th. After 6, Kernels 3, Devil Rays 1.
In today's work world, knowledge is power. Training for modern job skills is opportunity and security. And you have one of the best choices for your future right here in Eastern Iowa. It's Kirkwood. Kirkwood Community College offers over 100 degree programs to give you new job opportunities or a smart start on your college path. Find out more today. Call Kirkwood Admissions, 398-5517. Kirkwood, start here, go anywhere.
Hi, I'm Papa John, and when I say better ingredients, better pizza, I'm not talking about a little better. I'm talking about a lot better. Let's talk about our pizza sauce. It's made from fresh, fine-ripened tomatoes, not from concentrate. And when it comes to ingredients, we select from the world's best. Better ingredients, better pizza, Papa John's. A lot better.
Call your neighborhood Papa John's today and ask for the Home Run Special, a large, thin, or original crust pizza with up to 3 toppings for $10.99. Just $10.99.
Great teams consist of diverse talent. Rockwell Collins understands this and is committed to developing diversity in our community. We recognize that our leadership in the aviation and communications electronics industry hinges on attracting and retaining a diverse workforce. And we're working with other Iowa companies to create an environment that nurtures diversity. Rockwell Collins, different thinking makes us great. Great thinking makes us different.
We go to the 7th inning with Tommy Mendoza on the hill, his 7-5 record, his 4-0 record in his last 6 starts, and he's been fantastic here tonight, facing a Devil Ray team that beat us 9-3 Saturday night, and the Kernels bounced back and blanked Southwest Michigan 4-0 yesterday. Tommy's first pitch is lifted foul off to the left by Rhyne Hughes, and we're underway in the top of the 7th inning with Sean McCall from Old Creamery Theater with us. And Sean, I know you have to head down to lead the 7th inning stretch, but we want to thank you for being so dedicated to bringing affordable, fun, memorable, unique entertainment to not only our ballpark and telling us about it tonight, but to the entire community at Old Creamery Theater.
Well, thank you. I appreciate being here.
Sean, I'm going to get down to see the, is it called the Tenor Returns?
Lend Me a Tenor.
Lend Me a
Which
Tenor.
is not a musical. People go, oh, I like singing. It's like, no, it's
a
just
play.
funny.
Oh, just funny play.
With a few girls in their underwear.
Well, I'll be there for sure. A pitch in the dirt and a swing and a miss. Tommy Mendoza has now retired. Let's count now. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 in a row. Tommy has struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. He got Hughes on a change-up in the dirt, and Brett Martinez threw to Mark Trumbo for the out. Well, we'll be tuning up our crowd mic so we can hear you lead. Take me out to the ball game, Sean.
Great. Thank you very
Sean
much.
McCall, thank you from Old Creamery Theater. And, boy, did he go over some great, great attractions coming up at Old Creamery. Ball one, or a strike on a swing and a miss by Christian Lopez, who's 1 for 2 tonight. It's 3-1 Kernels. We're in the top of the 7th. Our Springhouse trivia question will come your way when the Kernels bat in the bottom of the 7th, so you can ready yourself for that. Kernels about hit the Devil Rays 8-5 and lead the Southwest Michigan team 3-1. A towering pop foul near the Kernel dugout, and Brett Martinez staggers underneath it and catches it. Oh, Brett Martinez had to deal with that high pop foul that was drifting back towards the first baseline. Brett got plenty of help from his teammates leaning over the railing of the Colonel first base dugout. They told him plenty of room, plenty of room, plenty of room. You could hear them chirping from up here, and Brett Martinez caught it on the warning track material in front of the Colonel first base dugout. And that's 9 in a row retired by Tommy Mendoza, who has Chris Cunningham swinging and missing and a changeup, strike 1. Christian Lopez is fouled out to Brett Martinez, the Colonel catcher, for the second out here in the Devil Rays 7th inning. Now a fastball outside from Tommy Mendoza. We told you at the top of the broadcast that in his last 6 starts, Tommy Mendoza 4-0, allowing only 8 earned runs and walking only 7 batters in 44 2/3 innings. Swing and a miss on a changeup, strike 2. The only Devil Ray run was a home run back in the 3rd inning by Jackson Brennan. The Colonel's 3 runs have been driven in by Morris, Dallas with a 2-run double with 2 out in the 1st, and an RBI single in the 3rd, and punching the 1-2 pitch foul off to the right is Chris Cunningham, a right-handed batter. Cunningham hitting .215, 3 homers, 10 RBIs. He's hit into a double play and struck out. Tommy Mendoza's retired 9 straight Southwest Michigan batters. Ground ball to 3rd. Dallas Morris glides to his left, cuts it off, on to first to retire the side. 10 in a row. 10 in a row. Set down by 18-year-old Colonel right-hander Tommy Mendoza. He retires Southwest Michigan in order for the 3rd straight frame. It's 7th inning stretch time, and it's sponsored by Lindale Dental Care. Let's listen in to Sean McCall, our guest from the Old Creamery Theater, as he leads the crowd in Lindale Dental Care sponsored Take Me Out to the Ball Game.
Take me out to the park. Buy me some peanuts and Cracker Jack. I don't care if I never get back for it's good food for the Colonel. If they don't win, it's a shame. For it's 1, 2, 3 strikes you're out at the old ball.
Sean McCall Kernels singing Take Me Out to the Ball Game, sponsored by Lindale Dental Care. Our Springhouse trivia question comes your way next. After 6.5, Kernels 3, Devil Rays 1.
Hi, I'm Phil Andrews, your local Pekin Insurance agent at Andrews Insurance here in Cedar Rapids. Even though we all do our best to stay healthy, we can never anticipate when an illness or accident might strike. Couple that reality with rising medical costs, and the importance of a top-notch medical plan becomes clear. Pekin Insurance offers a wide choice of deductibles and a non-tobacco user discount. To explore the major medical insurance plan that best fits you, visit me, Phil Andrews, at Andrews Insurance.
Hi, this is Dave Town with Five Seasons Transportation and Parking. Do you ever wonder if it's safe to send your child on the bus? It is, and here's a few reasons why. All the buses in Cedar Rapids are equipped with security cameras, so the drivers always know what's happening behind them. The buses also have global positioning systems, or GPS, which means they can be tracked at any time by satellite. Does that surprise you? It shouldn't. Five Seasons Transportation takes safety very seriously, and we've taken many steps to make sure your child will have a safe, easy ride every time they take the bus. Even when your child isn't on the bus, Five Seasons Transportation is helping keep them safe by using pollution-free biodiesel and alcohol fuels, Iowa products that help keep the air clean. And if your child is ever in trouble, they can always flag down a bus for help. I'm Dave Town, and I like to think of the bus as a traveling safety cocoon, motoring along Cedar Rapids streets. And keep in mind, if the bus is that safe and easy for your child, maybe you should think about riding the bus to work. Affordable, convenient, and safe. That's the bus. Ride it.
A new pitcher for the visiting Southwest Michigan Devil Rays. This is Game 3 of a 4-game series, tied at a game apiece. We go to the bottom of the 7th, and a southpaw, Aaron Walker, takes over. Larry Infante attempts a drag bunt up the first base line and misses strike one. Lefty Aaron Walker, out of Georgia Tech, a 24-year-old, 30th round pick by Tampa Bay in 2004. This is his third year of pro ball. He pitched in 14 games with the Devil Rays last year, 1-0 with a high ERA. Aaron Walker, he's from Ohio, and he went to Georgia Tech. And he delivers a fastball just high, ball one to Larry Infante. Larry Infante has scored 2 of the 3 Kernel runs in this 3-1 game, bottom of the 7th inning. Walker, an 88-mile-an-hour fastball, strike 2 called on the outside corner. Larry Infante appeared for a moment back at the plate umpire, but then says play on. Ball 2 is upstairs to Larry. If you've been one of our 48 previous Springhouse Family Restaurant Baseball Trivia Question winners, congratulations. Please don't call in this evening if you've already earned a $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse. Walker to Infante. Swing and a miss. Aaron Walker gets Larry Infante on a high fastball. 1 out here in the Kernels 7th. Kernels lead Southwest Michigan 3-1. Eddie Dela Cruz pitched the 6th inning, allowed no runs, on no hits, struck out none, walked none, hit a batter. Aaron Walker, 4-2 on the year, with 2 saves, and cranking the first pitch foul is Colonel switch hitting shortstop Heinle Stacia. Heinle grounded it foul past third. He's batting right-handed for the first time tonight, and he checks his bat to make sure he didn't break it. Aaron Walker's 4-2 with a 4.08 ERA. We'll give you our Springhouse trivia question in just a moment. Ooh, a changeup, and Stacia was way out in front and missed it by plenty, swinging. Strike 2 to Heinle. Heinle Stacia with a hit-and-run single, a stolen base, and a run scored in the Kernel 2-run first. Heinle skips out of the way of a nasty changeup in the dirt. Ball 1. The Springhouse serves breakfast anytime. Isn't that nice to know? So if you're in the mood for breakfast, the Springhouse serves it anytime. And Lester and his wonderful crew, Jill and Lauren Schmitz and Lauren's wife, they'll take great care of you. Swing and a miss on a pitch down and in. Heinle Stacia strikes out. There are quickly 2 gone here in the 7th. If any of our visiting listeners from Battle Creek are still up and listening as we approach 11 o'clock in the Eastern Time Zone, 10 o'clock here in Eastern Iowa, you're welcome to call in for the $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse. Our area code is 319. Our phone number, 896-7589, and our area code 319. A bouncer over the hill, charged by Hunter Vick, and he throws out Mark Trumbo. What a quick 1-2-3 inning as Mark Trumbo bounces out to second. The Kernels go 1-2-3-0 across. Here's our Springhouse trivia question this evening. Name the two current teammates, both under 35 years old, who have combined to hit 668 home runs. Name the two current teammates, both under 35 years old, who have combined about 668 home runs. Name the two current teammates, both under 35 years old, who have combined about 668 home runs. 319-896-7589. 319-896-7589. 319-896-7589. We go to the bottom of the seventh inning, or top of the eighth inning, excuse me. We go to the top of the eighth inning, and Tommy Mendoza back to the hill. Kernels lead it 3-1 over Southwest Michigan.
When you're in the market to buy or sell a home, how can you differentiate one realtor from another? The distinction is clear when you consider the remarkable offer that Dick Ramsey of Skogman Realty makes. Dick Ramsey's offer is unprecedented. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes, and Dick Ramsey will buy yours. That extraordinary pledge bears instant replay. Buy one of Dick Ramsey's homes, and Dick Ramsey will buy yours. For the best home buying or home selling experience in Cedar Rapids, turn to the home team. Skogman Realty's Dick Ramsey.
Did you know that Honda has the highest fuel economy average of any automobile company in America? Randy Kill Honda in Cedar Rapids is proud of their Honda dealership, and for good reason. Just listen to this list of remarkable awards for Honda vehicles. The Ridgeline, voted the 2006 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. The Honda Civic, voted 2006 Motor Trend Car of the Year. 2006 Car Driver voted the Honda Pilot as the best large SUV and best overall value of the year. Add it to the Honda Odyssey, Car Driver's best van for 2006. It's easy to see why Randy Kill Honda is the home of confidence and continues to offer the best value and lowest prices on your next new Honda. Check out the large selection of fuel-efficient pre-owned vehicles, too, online at randykill.com. Randy Kill Honda, where they treat you right.
What a long, deep drive by Matt Devins to open the Devil Ray 8th, and going back and on the warning track in front of the Westdale Mall Mix 96.5 Whirling Waters home run hot tub, caught by Marco Albano. I think Matt Devins' deep drive to left would have been a home run in virtually any other ballpark, but it hung up, and Albano caught it, and that's 11 in a row retired by Tommy Mendoza. A hot shot to short by Hunter Vick. It's fielded by Stacia. Heinley throws Hunter Vick out. 2 gone here in the 8th inning. 3-1 Kernels. You're enjoying Kernel Baseball on ESPN Radio 1600, KCRG, Cedar Rapids. We're going to repeat our Springhouse trivia question. Name the two current teammates, both under 35 years old, who have combined about 668 home runs. 896-7589, 896-7589. We've had a very good guess that I'll have to do some research on, and if it's correct, I'll have the caller call back, but I don't have time to check right now. Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez. But that's not the answer we're looking for, although it may be a correct answer, and if it is, we'll award that caller with a $5 certificate to the Springhouse. Name the two current teammates, both under 35 years old, who have combined about 668 home runs. We've never stumped an audience in 11 years, and a long-winded answer by a fella. We've got to free that phone up, and no correct answer yet. It's a National League team. They've been together as National Leaguers throughout their career. Name the two current teammates, both under 35 years old, who have combined about 668 home runs. One of them is from the same country as Heinley Stacia, Curacao. The other, his real name is Larry, but he doesn't go by Larry. The 2-2. Strike 3 call to Jackson Brennan. 13 in a row. 13 in a row retired by Tommy Mendoza. 13 in a row retired by the Colonel 18-year-old right-hander, Tommy Mendoza. For the 4th inning in a row, Mendoza retires. The Devil Rays in order. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. It's still the Kernels 3 and Southwest Michigan 1. Let's give you more hints on our Springhouse trivia question. Name the 2 current teammates, both under 35 years old, who have combined to slug 668 home runs. Name the 2 current teammates, both under 35 years old, who have combined to belt 668 home runs. 896-7589, 896-7589. We go to the home half of the 8th inning, and the Kernels lead Southwest Michigan 3-1.
We're here for your communication needs, internet service, telephone, and TV. As a cooperative telephone company, our members are owners who make a good team. Service second to none, South Slope Cooperative Communication.
Are you looking to take your baseball or softball game to the next level? The premier place to do it is Perfect Game, located across the street from Veterans Memorial Stadium. Perfect Game's professional baseball and softball instructors will help improve your pitching, hitting, throwing, fielding, and base running abilities in Iowa's premier training facility. For the best individual baseball and softball instruction and training, visit Perfect Game. That's Perfect Game, just a fly ball away from Veterans Memorial Stadium.
When it comes to making buying decisions, people let their fingers do the walking through Yellowbook Yellow Pages. It's no wonder. Yellowbook's packed with ads, coupons, restaurant menus, and more. Delivering to homes and businesses throughout the area, Yellowbook combines the features consumers want with advertising rates business owners can afford. To place your ad, call 1-800-YB-YELLOW. That's 1-800-YB-YELLOW. Yellowbook, not the other book.
A succession of relief pitchers for Southwest Michigan as we go to the bottom of the 8th inning. 3-1 Kernels. The Devil Rays bring on their 3rd reliever in as many innings, lefty Drew Bigda, B-I-G-D-A. He's from Holy Cross in Worcester, Massachusetts, and he hails from Connecticut. We have a winner to congratulate in our Springhouse Trivia question, and we will take time to research an answer that could be correct. I just don't have the time. We do have a computer link called Baseball Reference that we can look up Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez. A first pitch swing by Dallas Morris, and he swats it foul high in the air down the right side. This game is being played, by the way, at breakneck pace. We're in the bottom of the 8th inning. The game less than an hour and 50 minutes old, and it's 3-1 Kernels, and that's why I sound like a hockey broadcaster. It's gone that quickly. Our question in the Springhouse Trivia realm, name the 2 current teammates, both under 35 years old. Both under 35 years old. Here's a high fly ball into right center field. Drifting over to get it is Jackson Brennan, and 1 out here in the Kernel 8th inning. 3-1 Kernels. All the scoring in this game took place in the first 3 innings. Name the 2 current teammates, both under 35 years old, who have combined about 668 home runs. One fella called and said Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez. We are trying to determine if both of them are under 35 and if both of them together have hit 668 home runs. If they did, I will need that fella to call back probably, well, maybe later tonight, possibly tomorrow. We have a calculator out now. The answer we were looking for, Chipper and Andrew Jones. Chipper and Andrew Jones. The home run column is marked HR. And now, wait a minute. We have confirmation that the fellow's answer was incorrect. We do have confirmation from Mike Wagenheim. Meanwhile, Dallas Brett Martinez has singled into right field. This game, again, being played at the pace of a hockey game. Brett Martinez has the 9th Kernel hit of the game. The fellow who answered Derek Jeter and Alex Rodriguez, great guess, but fella, they have hit 624 home runs. Chipper Jones and Andrew Jones, as teammates under 35, have hit 668. And the fellow would have been right. Jeter's only 32. Rodriguez is 30. And they hit 624 home runs. A pitch in the dirt, and Martinez advances to second on a wild pitch. We have confirmation that Jeter and Rodriguez have not hit the 668 home runs we mentioned. Chipper Jones and Andrew Jones have. And that's why Tom Singer has earned himself a $5 gift certificate to the Spring House. Congratulations, Tom Singer of Westchester Drive, Northeast. You will receive a $5 gift certificate from the Spring House because, yes, Chipper Jones has 345 career home runs. Andrew Jones has 323 career home runs. That adds up to 668. And Chipper's 34 years old. Andrew's 29. Boy, that was a great guess by that fellow, though, Jeter and Rodriguez. He just didn't have the home run total that we needed, 668. Swing and a miss by Jordan Renz. A big run at second base. If Jordan could drive it in. Jordan singled his first time up, has flown to left and grounded to short. He's facing lefty Drew Bigda, B-I-G-D-A, a 6'1", 215-pounder from Holy Cross. A changeup in the dirt. Jordan went around, and he strikes out. 2 gone here in the Colonel 8th inning. Let's give you the line on Aaron Walker, who worked a scoreless 7th for Southwest Michigan. He went 1 inning, allowed no runs, no hits, struck out 2, and walked none. Let's see if Flint Whipke, who was hit by a pitch his last time up, can come through with a 2-out single that would plate the first Colonel run in this game since the 3rd inning. Neither team has scored since the 3rd inning. It's 3-1 Colonels in the bottom of the 8th. Look out, a foul right over the head of Marco Albano on the on-deck circle, strike 1. The Colonels have a pair of right-handers up in their bullpen. Tim Madison and Ryan Aldridge. Moose Mosbach, a 4-0 winner yesterday, started the 9th inning, gave up a hit and then a walk, and Ryan Aldridge came in to save his 19th game of the year. Bigda misses low, ball 1 to Flint Whipke. Flint's the number 8 Colonel hitter. Colonels in their white home uniforms with red batting helmets, red numbers trimmed in black, and red letters and big block letters across the front that spell the name Kernels. The Colonels wear red socks. The breeze, which was discernible earlier in the evening, is not now. It's perfectly calm here. 80 degrees. Strike 2 called, according to the plate umpire Corey Hinga. And it's 1-2 to Flint Whipke. We'll be proud to announce our attendance when the Devil Rays come to bat in the top of the 9th inning. The 1-2 to Flint, and he stays alive and taps the pitch foul. It hit Flint and then rolls to the right of the mound, where Drew Bigda picks it up. Drew has won 1 and lost 2 this year. He has a save. He's on in relief for the 28th time for Southwest Michigan. Drew Bigda's ERA, 4.07. 2 out, bottom of the 8th. Brett Martinez at second. And Flint Whipke waits for the 1-2. Swing and a miss on a high fastball. Oh, brother, Devil Ray pitching has spanned 9 Colonels tonight. In the bottom of the 8th inning, no runs for the Colonels, 1 hit, a wild pitch, no Devil Ray errors. The Colonels leave a runner. We've stranded 7. We go to the top of the 9th inning. Will Tommy Mendoza be allowed to try to finish this game? No, he won't. It's Ryan Aldridge that will come on and pitch the top of the 9th inning. After 8, the Colonels still lead Southwest Michigan 3-1.
When it comes to auto insurance, Westside Agency in Palo, your professional Pekin insurance agency, will make certain you're properly insured with the right coverages and deductibles. Westside Agency will tell you about the money-saving discounts from Pekin Insurance. Multi-car discount, good student discount, loss-free discount, 45-plus auto discount, auto home discount, low mileage discount. To see if you qualify for any of these auto discounts that will lower your premiums, visit Westside Agency in Palo.
Peck's Flower and Garden Shop reminds you that now summer is the best time to enjoy fresh, colorful flowers and blooming plants. Whether it's a single flower or an entire arrangement, the family-owned experts at Peck's Flower and Garden Shop can help you. Peck's is your professional and award-winning FTD Teleflora florist. Stop in often this summer for fresh, colorful flowers and blooming plants at Peck's Flower Shop and Garden Center. They're located at the corner of Blair's Ferry and Edgewood Road. Peck's has been serving eastern Iowa for 50 years. Peck's Flower Garden Shop, landscaping and nursery, they're open until 8 on weeknights and until 5 on weekends. That's Peck's Flower Shop, Garden Center, Nursery, and Landscaping. We now have further details on the excellent guest that preceded Tom Singer's correct answer to our Springhouse trivia question. Name the two current teammates, both under 35 years old, who have combined to belt 668 home runs, Chipper Jones and Andrew Jones. We didn't know that the fellow that called with the Derek Jeter, Alec Rodriguez guess was a little boy. Fella, if you're still up, we understand. We'd love to have you call. It was such a great guess, and I didn't realize it sounded, they tell me, like a little 6 or 7 or 8-year-old boy. Could you please call back at 896-7589 if you're still up? I know it's probably past your bedtime. 896-7589. You deserve a Springhouse certificate. That little boy deserves it. Swing and a miss, strike one by Neil Walton. Ryan Aldridge is on the hill for the Kernels, answering the U.S. Cellular call to the Colonel bullpen. 91-mile-an-hour fastball, swing and a miss, strike two on Neil Walton. 3-1 Kernels, and we're in the top of the 9th inning. This call to the Colonel bullpen brought to you by U.S. Cellular. Get your wireless relief. Get your wireless relief with Call Me Minutes only from U.S. Cellular. Swing and a foul off to the right by the number 2 hitter, Neil Walton. We'll compile the final line on Tommy Mendoza in just a moment. We know that he went 8 innings, allowed 1 run on only 5 hits. Retired the last 13 batters he faced. Swing and a miss, strike 3. Neil Walton down on strikes. Ryan Aldridge fans Neil Walton. We now have the name of the little fella, Mark Matke. Matke. Yeah, if this is the Mackenzie Matke I know, I apologize. He's not a 6 or 7 or 8-year-old. He's 12 years old. And Mackenzie Matke, congratulations. That guess by you, Mackenzie, for a 12-year-old was unbelievable. You made us, and thankfully we have Mike Wagenheim, the play-by-play voice of the Devil Rays, who was just unable to answer the bell tonight due to a extreme case of laryngitis. He lost his voice. And Mackenzie Matke, your guess was so logical, it caught me completely off guard. And Mackenzie Matke, you will be sent a $5 gift certificate to the Springhouse along with Tom Singer. Meanwhile, Ryan Aldridge with 1 out here in the 9th. Kernels lead 3-1, is fallen behind Cesar Suarez 2-1. Tommy Mendoza retired the last 13 batters he faced. The 2-1 from Ryan Aldridge. Swing and a miss, 93-mile-an-hour gas from the Colonel right-hander, who's answered a U.S. Cellular call to the Colonel bullpen. Ryan Aldridge, 2-3 this year, leads the club with 38 appearances, a 2.95 ERA, and a high drive into straightaway center. There's Madison Edwards to pocket it. 2 gone here in the 9th inning. 2 away as Cesar Suarez flies to center. 2 gone, 3-1 Kernels. Tommy Mendoza is trying to up his record to a remarkable 8-5. Tommy, we're still trying to get his final line for you. He went 8 innings, allowed 1 run on 5 hits. He struck out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and Mendoza walked none, and he hit 1. Ball 1 low to J.T. Hall. Strike 1 called from Ryan Aldridge. Aldridge pitched here yesterday in relief of winner Moose Mosbach in the Colonel 4-0 victory. The Kernels trying to up their second half record to 15-10, lead it here in the 9th, 3-1. Ball 2 up and away to left-handed hitting J.T. Hall. Ryan Aldridge has 4 straight saves and a win dating back to July 5th. So it's been a stupendous month for the Colonel closer. Swing and a miss, strike 2 on J.T. Hall. Now this crowd of 1,540 on its feet. 1,540, trying to see if Ryan Aldridge can save it for Tommy Mendoza. Ryan has 19 saves. A broken bat grounder to second. Clubbed by Infante. Throw to first in time. Ryan Aldridge has saved his 20th game. Tommy Mendoza has won his 8th. And the Kernels have won this game 3-1. It only took 2 hours and 2 minutes, and it was played before a Monday night crowd with an hour and 15-minute rain delay of 1,540. And Tommy Mendoza, who retired 13 in a row, turned it over to Ryan Aldridge. J.T. Hall broke his bat on a 2-strike pitch. Larry Infante, with peripheral vision, broke to his right, thinking the bat might have been the ball. Larry had to slam the brakes on, move 2 steps quickly back to his left, field the 2-hopper by J.T. Hall, and he threw J.T. out, and the Kernels have won 3-1. The Colonel's 7-game homestand record is 4-2. The Colonel overall record in the second half, 15-10. Totals, highlights, and more next on the Colonel Curtain Call here on the Colonel Radio Network.
Next up, a musical taste of Dr. Pepper. It's a new spin on old vibes from me to you. A tasty sip of Dr. Pepper for your ears, and it starts like this.
I'm a pepper, he's a pepper, she's a pepper, we're a pepper, wouldn't you like to be?
Now that's cool, but pepper, it's a little better. So let's slide in a taste of this.
I'm a pepper,
Right on. But there's still more to it. I mean, there's nothing like it, because every sip is a kick and mash up of 23 different flavors. So for the true taste of Dr. Pepper, we dial it up even more.
I'm a pepper.
You know it. With 23 flavors mixed into one bold taste, every sip is a cool mix of music to your mouth. Woo! Dr. Pepper, there's more to it.
Your home is a place for savoring all the good things in life. It's a place for celebrations. It's a place where memories are created. To make sure your home is properly insured, visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion, your professional Pekin insurance agency. Sheets Forest Draper will give you all important details about homeowners insurance with complete coverages and surprisingly affordable rates. Visit Sheets Forest Draper in Marion for homeowners insurance for your well-lived and well-loved home.
It's time for the Colonel's Curtain Call. Now, with a game recap, a complete look at the State Farm scoreboard, and a look ahead to upcoming action, let's rejoin the voice of the Colonel, John Rogers.
Well, a delay of an hour and 15 minutes. The game was almost played quicker than the delay of an hour and 15 minutes. The Colonels in 2 hours and 2 minutes win 3-1 against the Southwest Michigan Devil Rays. This is John Rogers back with you on the Colonel Curtain Call. Tommy Mendoza, the Colonel pitcher tonight. Let me tell you what his numbers were coming in after his last 6 starts. Tommy was 4-0 with 2 no decisions. In 44 2/3 innings, he had allowed only 8 earned runs on 33 hits, 34 strikeouts, 7 walks. We're going to do some quick addition. Tommy went 8 innings tonight, so after 7 starts, he has pitched 52 2/3 innings. In 52 2/3 innings, he gave up 1 earned run tonight. He's allowed 9 earned runs in 52 2/3. He allowed 5 hits in his 8 innings tonight, so 38 hits. He struck out 7, 41 strikeouts. He walked none. In his last 7 starts, Tommy Mendoza is 5-0 with 2 no decisions. He's pitched 52 and 2/3 innings, given up only 9 earned runs in 52 and 2/3, yielded only 38 hits in 52 and 2/3, struck out 41, and walked only 7. He's 18 years old. Wow. We now can give you the scoring recap, which won't take long at all in this Kernel 3-1 win. With 1 out in the first inning, Larry Infante walked. And a perfectly executed hit-and-run single by Heinle Stacia sent Infante to third. Stacia then stole second. The Kernels had runners at second and third with 2 out, and Dallas Morris came through. He had 3 of the Kernel 9 hits tonight. Dallas wrapped a double over the bag at third, down the left field line. Infante scored from third. Stacia scored from second, and the Kernels led after 1 inning, 2-0. In the second inning, J.T. Hall was hit by a pitch to start the inning for Southwest Michigan. Rhyne Hughes singled, and it looked like the Devil Rays, who had the tying runs at first and second with nobody out, were going to make a real charge at the Kernels. One of the key plays in the game, Christian Lopez trying to lay a sacrifice bunt down. Lopez from Miami, Florida, familiar with Tommy Mendoza. Lopez's bunt was fielded by Tommy. Tommy whirled and threw to third, and the Kernels got J.T. Hall sliding in feet first for the 1-5 putout. Then Chris Cunningham hit into an inning-ending double play, and that turned the game completely around. It remained 2-0 Kernels until the Devil Rays cut that lead in half. Their only run of the game came with 2 out in the third inning as Jackson Brennan belted his second home run of the year. He sent it soaring just over the 378 sign in left center and cut the Kernel lead to 2-1. In the bottom of the third, however, the very next half inning, Larry Infante singled, and with 1 out, Mark Trumbo grounded a base hit into left. Infante stopped at second. Dallas Morris then collected his second straight hit of the game, an RBI single into center. Infante scored to make it 3-1 Kernels. Little did we know at that time that would be all the runs scored tonight. Tommy Mendoza in the fourth inning, pitching with runners at second and third and 2 outs, struck out Chris Cunningham. And that kept the Devil Rays from tying the game. Had Cunningham come through with a 2-out base hit, it likely would have tied the game. But the strikeout of Chris Cunningham was the first of 13 in a row retired by the Kernel starter. It was the first of 13 in a row set down by Tommy Mendoza. He retired the Devil Rays in order in the 5th, 6th, 7th, and 8th. And leading 3-1 in the top of the 9th, on came Ryan Aldridge. He retired the Devil Rays in order to earn his 20th save. 3-1 Kernels, the final. Jack Rader, Kernel General Manager, pointing out not only that the Kernels are now 15-10 in the second half, but the Kernels are, well, wait a minute. I thought Jack said we pulled within a game of 500 overall. And no, I think our overall record now is 46-49. But I'm not sure what Jack's statistic was. We're now 10-4 at home in the second half, 26-23 at home overall, but I don't think we're quite to the 500 mark overall. But that doesn't matter. The Kernels have won 4 of 6 on this 7-game homestand. The final line score tonight, the Kernels 3 runs, 9 hits, no errors, and the Kernels left 8. Southwest Michigan 1 run, 5 hits, no errors. The Devil Rays left only 3 men aboard. And the winning pitcher, Tommy Mendoza, we gave you his fabulous line in his last 7 starts, allowing only 9 earned runs in 52 2/3 innings, 5-0 with 2 no decisions in his last 7 starts. Tommy's 8-5. Ryan Aldridge earns his 20th save of the year. The Southwest Michigan loser was Greg Reinhardt, the starter. He's now 3-7. The game only took 2 hours and 2 minutes to play. That's because Reinhardt and Mendoza, the starting pitchers, worked very quickly and very effectively. The attendance, 1,540. 3-1 Kernels will return in just a moment with our PRC play of the game here on the Kernel Curtain Call.
Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to the ballpark every Wednesday this season. You heard right. Fairfax State Savings Bank is paying you to come to Veterans Memorial Stadium every Wednesday this season. The first 750 of you Colonel fans to enter the gates before Wednesday's home game will receive an envelope full of money inside from Fairfax State Savings Bank. Each of those 750 envelopes will contain a greenback up to a $100 bill. Fairfax State Savings Bank, free money Wednesdays. Come early to line your pocket with cash.
There's a lot you can do to satisfy your taste for Italian. You can marry one.
Do you, Susan Smith, take Giuseppe Florentini?
You can drive one. Or you can go to Zio Giano's and feast on Zio's homemade bread, pizzas, and pasta, authentically prepared in Zio Giano's famous Italian style. Zio Giano's for the hometown taste of Italy.
Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes you zero. Come to Zio Giano's for il Italiano. Come to Zio Giano's, the pasta makes
Our second segment of the Colonel Curtin Call, we take a listen to our PRC play of the game. The Colonels won it tonight 3-1, and it was scoreless in the bottom of the first inning. Infante walked with one out. Stacia, a hit-and-run single to left, sent Larry to third. As Mark Trumbo struck out for the second out of the Colonel first, Stacia stole third. It was second and third, 2 out, bottom of the first inning, and here's our PRC play of the game.
Fifth inning. Second and third, 2 away. Ground ball fair. Ground ball fair down the left field line. 2 runs will score. Infante scores. Here comes Stacia to make it 2-0 on a ground ball double. Smacked sharply past third by Dallas Morris. And the Colonels lead it here in the bottom of the first inning, 2-0.
A crowd of 1,540 cheered on Dallas Morris's 2-out, 2-run double in the first. Dallas made it 3-1 Colonels in the third with a RBI single up the middle. Morris drove in all 3 Colonel runs, had 3 of our 9 hits, and he supported a great pitching outing by Tommy Mendoza, who's now 8-5. Ryan Aldridge saved his 20th. That PRC play of the game sponsored by PRC, the former Access Direct here in Cedar Rapids. A job at PRC is a job you'll love. The benefit package at PRC is called Life Essentials, and the benefits reflect Life Essentials. That is a 401k savings plan, medical, dental, vision, and pet insurance, and a flexible schedule. To learn more about a company with a great heart, visit PRC online. www.prcnet.com. 3-1 Colonels. We'll be back in a moment with our complete look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard on the Colonel Radio Network.
The hottest feature in beautiful Veterans Memorial Stadium is the coolest place. It's the Rolling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. How can you and your friends relax and splash it up from the most coveted spot at the ballpark? Simply register at Centerpoint in Westdale Mall and listen. If you're selected as the winner, you'll enjoy the ultimate entertainment experience. AquaJet Stream Comfort atop the left field wall in the Whirling Waters Home Run Hot Tub. Brought to you by Westdale Mall and Whirling Waters. Your chance to splash it up.
Did you know that Honda has the highest fuel economy average of any automobile company in America? Randy Kill Honda in Cedar Rapids is proud of their Honda dealership, and for good reason. Just listen to this list of remarkable awards for Honda vehicles. The Ridgeline, voted the 2006 Motor Trend Truck of the Year. The Honda Civic, voted 2006 Motor Trend Car of the Year. 2006 Car Driver voted the Honda Pilot as the best large SUV and best overall value of the year. Add it to the Honda Odyssey, Car Driver's best van for 2006. It's easy to see why Randy Kill Honda is the home of confidence and continues to offer the best value and lowest prices on your next new Honda. Check out the large selection of fuel-efficient pre-owned vehicles, too, online at randykill.com. Randy Kill Honda, where they treat you right.
Welcome back to the Colonel Curtin Call here on the Colonel Radio Network. A special thanks to all the listeners in Cereal City, USA, the world headquarters of Kellogg's Company. It was a pleasure knowing that you were listening this evening. The outcome wasn't what you were hoping for, but I want to extend a very warm degree of admiration and respect to all the listeners, not only here in eastern Iowa and across the globe on the Internet, but the special Devil Ray fans who were tuned in this evening. A great friend of mine and an outstanding play-by-play young broadcaster, Mike Wagenheim, suffering from such a bad throat and voice that he can literally not talk. And I'm glad to know Mike entrusted the ball game to our network. Thank you so much. And we have the utmost respect for the community. I mentioned earlier how much John Smoltz meant to Battle Creek, and I know that Mike Wagenheim will do his best to try to bring you the series finale back to Battle Creek tomorrow at noon. It'll just depend on how that voice starts to heal. 3-1 Kernels tonight behind Tommy Mendoza's 8th win. Jack Rader, our general manager, I thought was saying that the win put us to within a game of 500. It did not. What Jack was saying is if the Kernels can capture the series finale tomorrow, it would give the Kernels a remarkable 5-2 homestand, and Jack had talked about that as a goal to make it a 5-2 homestand. So I apologize to Jack for misunderstanding his thought, and I agree with it wholeheartedly. We'll tell you about tomorrow's series finale in just a moment. Right now, thanks to State Farm Insurance agents Brad Dunn, Al Shetler, Dale Thompson, and Gary Schubat, we can bring you a complete look at the scores on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. 5 finals from tonight in the American League. Let's start at Rogers Center, where the Blue Jays dismantled the Rangers 10-1. At Fenway Park, the Red Sox shaded the Royals tonight 5-4. Meanwhile, in the Bronx, the Yankees sunk the Mariners 4-2 Yankees. At Camden Yards, the Orioles flew past the Athletics 5-3. The Twins played in the Metrodome, and they toppled the Devil Rays, the parent club of the Southwest Michigan outfit. It was Minnesota 6 and Tampa Bay 3 at the Metrodome tonight. Our parent club, the Angels, are going for their 11th win in their last 12 games, and in the bottom of the 3rd inning, the Angels are ahead of Cleveland 5-2. We have 3 finals in the National League on the State Farm Major League scoreboard. At Dolphin Stadium, the Marlins derailed the Nationals 4-2. Colorado and the Pirates met at PNC Park, and it was Pittsburgh knocking off the Rockies 3-1. The Cardinals had a 7-game winning streak snapped, and they had it snapped in a big way as the Braves clobbered the Cardinals at Busch Stadium 15-3 tonight. They're in the top of the 6th inning at Chase Ballpark in Phoenix with the Diamondbacks ahead of the Dodgers 3-2. Top of the 5th inning, the Padres playing at Petco Park own a 2-1 lead over the Phillies, and the Giants at AT&T Ballpark in the city by the bay in the bottom of the 4th, San Francisco ahead of the Brewers 1-0. That's our complete look at the State Farm Major League scoreboard, sponsored by State Farm Insurance agents Dale Thompson, Gary Schubat, Al Shetler, and Brad Dunn. Tomorrow we wrap up the 7-game homestand. A noon start. We'll have the South Slope Communications Triple Play show for you. Brooks at bat. Legendary Hall of Famer Bob Brooks will be with us at 11:40 tomorrow morning right here in the zone, and the Kernels will be aiming for a win that would give them a 5-2 homestand. Please join us tomorrow. Bring your radio to the ballpark and enjoy a Triple Play Tuesday. Any regular sandwich, beverage, and chips for only $5 for the noon start tomorrow. The final again here tonight after an hour and 15-minute delay due to a thunderstorm. The Kernels knock off the Devil Rays 3-1. Thanks for being with us. This has been Kernel Baseball on the Kernel Radio Network.
This has been a special sports presentation from The Zone, ESPN Radio, 1600 AM, Cedar Rapids. Now back to our regularly scheduled ESPN programming already in progress.